Welcome back to Rush of Madness, session 10, double digits. Titled The Crawler's Den. Last session, the group has been wandering inside of the what appear to be sewers, and from what they can understand, underneath the area known as Tarn, which is kind of to the west, the western burg of Cardin. They have encountered some weird stuff, to be sure. Ropers, Kuatoa, and dead Kuatoa, and a massive carrion crawler. And they killed the carrion crawler with smarts, and that's where we're leaving off. That's where we left off, rather, last time. I'm going to change the music to something a bit more sewery. While I'm doing that, feel free to discuss amongst yourselves what you plan to do or what you wish to do next.
Yeah, so Glint was thinking about diving down to the bottom of this pool here.
Okay.
To see if there's anything valuable at the bottom, because it seems this pool's where all the bits and pieces have ended up.
Okay, that's what he's doing while that's happening. Anybody else?
Valgo, you're strong enough to push this out of the way, right?
You push, I'll pull.
Yeah, I'll give you a hand.
So what the two of you figure out is that the blade that cut its side, on that end, if you kind of push some parts to the side, because it kind of fell on that end, there is a manner for you to kind of push yourself through the wound, so to speak, and kind of deposit yourself on the other side. Obviously, this will not be the cleanest process, but it's not as solid on that side of it, if you get my meaning.
I don't know. We could maybe fit through here. What do you think?
I mean, you could open it up. You got the harp and the axe, right? You can. You made a raft earlier. You can make a door.
It's a little different. Carving into something.
I mean, that raft was complicated. Like, Orlando spent hours trying to do it, and there it was. You can make a door. I believe in you.
Craftsmanship and butchery are two separate things. I mean, I could take a good hack at it, though.
See, for me, that's the most noble kind of character you can get, when it's harder for them to destroy than to create.
I'll start.
What if you made a raft out of the carrion crawler?
Oh, hell yeah. Let's get
A
it.
carrion canoe?
I'll take out the blaze hatchet battle axe that I've got. Just like stow it away and start hacking away, trying to make it easier for Cassia to get through.
I'll allow you to make one of two rolls. You choose which skill you want to use, medicine or nature.
We'll go with nature.
All right. Cassia, do you want to help?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't require training for this. So the two of you kind of think together and realize that the segment that's wounded, and like the face area, it would be smarter to just like use the battle axe beard, the beard of the axe, kind of hook onto the plates and just start pulling them down and away from the creature, kind of tearing them off. Then to try and kind of cut up the creature in between the cracks of its armor. And after about 20 or 30 minutes of that, you manage to kind of create a large gash, large enough for you to walk through without kind of being completely enveloped by the insides of the creature.
Gross.
Yeah, and it's called a carrion crawler. It probably smells fucking putrid.
Actually, surprisingly not. No, the creature does not smell terrible.
Blaze hatchets really are master craftsmen.
For the people who are currently cutting into the front of the thing, the tendrils have kind of a strangely kind of sweet smell to them.
That's unnerving.
It's kind of like a sweet tea.
Where's Hezrod to try eating it?
Kind of smell.
Somebody is randomly knocking on my door right now. I will be right back.
Okay, we'll be here.
Gonna make a door out of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Once you're on the other side and you're all like together, what would you like to do beyond that?
I suppose we should keep on tracking.
So at this point, you would note that as you're kind of out and finished, you would note that Glint comes up. I will explain to you that the time you spent inside the water was wasted. The only thing in there is like small bits of chum, and at the bottom there's like a nice sickly sludge of the material. There's no need for an investigation roll. There's nothing in there besides it. What you would know, knowing a bit about carrion crawlers, is that it's the parts it didn't digest, and also the material it excreted. This is its toilet that you've been swimming around in.
Poopy.
Should have asked Balgar to make a door.
What, to block him from going in the poop hole? Doesn't make sense, but I guess it's good.
You know. Maybe
Alright.
it just needs a handle.
So let's say this waterway, like we mentioned last time, the one that you're kind of heading down, it's a bit higher than the other waterways. There's like a good amount of rush here. It's probably closer to like chest level for you. The dwarf will have to swim, won't be able to touch bottom, as is true for nobody else. Everybody's like 5 footish. Some of you much taller than that in the case of the bugbear.
I'm not invisible anymore, right?
Yeah, you. It's been about a minute, so 20 with the cutting. So yeah.
Time well spent.
Okay. Which way do we want to go? Do we want to go? Let me see. You said we want to. If we're looking for a way into Sepulchre's Barrow, we should probably continue heading in an easterly direction.
Yeah. This one seems to wrap around. I'm gonna. Oh, it just kind of has curves.
Okay. So as
to
you
the
kind of
east.
get into the water, it's not flowing super fast. It's kind of like a small bit of a bramble, really, and you kind of start making your way up it. Or you would note that Orlandis seems to be walking towards the other side of the round room and looking down the hallway where the crawler came from. And Orlandis, as you're kind of doing that, you would note that there does appear to be a walk up to a higher point, and an entry into what appears to be kind of a small room off to the side.
Is this is the water in this channel like much cleaner than the water in the central pit?
Yeah, it still kind of has a. It's not like there is actual like material being kind of processed through this old sewerway, but there is a certain kind of residual filth to it.
Yeah, it's like stagnant.
Yeah. Well, it's not stagnant. It's still moving. It's just it's kind of picking up a lot of like old filth with it. It's not really clean.
As long as it's like cleaner than the water in the central pit. Clint's,
Yeah.
as he's like wading through it, he's gonna sort of rinse himself off.
For sure. And as you kind of come up to the space, you'll note that you're kind of passing under a bridge that has a high arch to it. And there are 2 kind of platforms on the side, and then there's only one other landing point on the right. Pause here for a second. It does look like the others are heading, following after you. Orlandis, it does look like you're kind of going off on your own, which is the Jonah way. Pro tip.
Oh yeah.
Talk to people. Just use your words. That way you don't end up in a trap and dying horribly. Just make sure you're aware of that.
Yeah,
I didn't want to interrupt with what they're doing stuff. The main focus is trying to drink a greater healing potion,
Go for it.
and then doing the snake eyes.
Well, it looks like you got
Look into the room.
one bard with you.
Okay.
And as you kind of look inside, you do see that there's a pillar. The pillar in question looks like it has a chain wrapped around it. It's linked to the floor, goes all the way up to the ceiling. The ceiling in this space is much lower than the ceilings you've seen throughout. Probably only about 8 feet high in this space.
How much is a greater healing? Oh, 44 plus 1. Okay.
That's double snake eyes.
Alright,
I would
not
like for
bad.
Lose and Clint to make a perception check while I continue with these folks. And then for
Mm.
Cassia and Astrogoth, are you heading to follow after Lose and Clint, or are you moving to follow the Bard and the Warlord?
Warlord.
I was gonna go with Los England.
Okay. And Cassia?
She has been sticking with Lose recently, so I guess I'll.
Okay. Cool. So when you pop into the space, Orlandus, you see that in the center of the room, there's a very kind of ornate, but at the same time, very kind of just strange-looking throne. The
Mm.
throne in question looks like it has what looks like the upper body, like maybe from the pelvis up, of a person sitting in it, but it looks like the flesh has kind of entered this state of like sludge. You would see that there are kind of bright, well, kind of dark actually, red stains on the ground where the legs would be. Looks like a very kind of old blood stain. And just kind of puzzling it out, like it's not hard to kind of understand that this person was sitting in this throne, either alive or dead,
Mm-hmm.
and its legs were ripped off by something standing about where you are.
Okay. So, if Balgar's in the room with me, I'm just gonna say, do you think this could be a torture chair?
It looks like a throne, right?
Yeah, there doesn't look like there's any device or anything to it that would suggest a torture chair.
Any sort of like particular make or regional indication about the chair?
Great question. Go ahead and make a history roll.
Can I help him?
Help me.
He asked the question, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a 12.
Okay. You're not certain. You definitely know it's not Jernarin. Or Dennis Odman.
Not a torture chamber or chair, but not sure where it came from and how it got down here. I don't think we should touch anything though. It looks fun. Doesn't look good.
Orlandus, as you're kind of moving with the light on your shield, you would notice that there's a kind of glint. Not the vampire guy, but there's like a glint kind of shining off of
He's a vampire?
Vampire guy.
What the hell?
shining off of the forehead of the creature. And as you kind of like look at it a bit more, there's a diadem seated on the head of the goopified individual.
Oh. Okay. I'm just gonna go around to see if there's anything connected to the back of this bear throne. Nothing? Okay. And then there's just the diadem on the helmet of this guy?
No
or
helmet.
the head
There's
of this
no
guy?
helmet. Yeah. So basically, to explain the state of the guy once again, it's like there is a skeletal frame that's kind of covered with what looks like kind of just melted flesh and muscle and all the other bits, and it's just kind of at this state where it's like it's very wet looking.
Yeah.
And it's very putrid, obviously, but it looks like this individual is slowly like melting, dissolving.
Can I try with my spear to just like knock it off of him? Or is it melted into his flesh?
So it's locked on there. It looks like it's kind of fallen into the goop and like kind of because of weight of the diadem and like time, it seems to have kind of seated neatly and kind of tightly on the skull of the creature, or the skull of the remnants.
Can I knock it off?
Do you kind of just start tapping it with your spear? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. And Balgar, you're there, right?
Yeah. Wait. I don't think we should touch anything.
I will allow you to stop because Balgar suggested it if you want to.
Yeah, I'll stop.
Okay.
Do we just leave this here?
Perhaps someone else might know something better we could do besides poke it with a stick.
Okay.
Or at
I'm
the very
just-
least, if that thing comes back to life and tries to eat you, you'll have backup.
So cutting scene as you decide what you want to do with it, and if you're wanting to connect with everybody. What I will move to as Ashergoth and Castian make it up to you. Clint and Lose, from this position, it does look like there is another kind of iron set of bars that kind of block off the passageway to the south in the waterway. But it looks like there's two walking paths on the side. You also look there and see out of the corner of your eye what looks like an alcove, similar to the one that Glint climbed up and couldn't move the door on top of. And then the pool in front of you doesn't look so much like a pool, and it seems to be where the water is kind of coming as it kind of hits this point. It's spilling down into the water, about a 5-foot ascent. If my computer will let me ping, again, as I explained, my mouse is being silly, but
Yeah.
here it's kind of like a 5-foot drop. That kind of the water is spilling down into the water you're in, and it looks like the water is coming up northbound towards you, and it's kind of mostly going the way you're coming, but some of it's going north as well at a much slower pace and a much lower kind of depth.
Okay.
So that kind of center square mark is kind of a bit of a conflux of these different stream paths.
Right.
Right. Yeah, Glint's gonna move up here. Is this water even cleaner? So it's like sort of like a spring.
Yeah, I'd say so. Except that it looks like it's a well.
Hmm.
It goes down as far as you can see with your dark vision and the kind of slight murkiness of it.
And it also goes up, right?
Well, so he had to climb up to get up onto this level.
Oh, okay.
And
So
then there's a
it's
pit.
like a well, but there's not like a straight up.
Yeah, so the water, it seems, what you kind of see is like, it seems that it's kind of rising, and as it rises above the level where the canal to the west is, it kind of moves towards the canal, drops off a 5-foot drop into the canal that you came up to it on.
Okay.
Are there any like loose stones or pebbles lying around?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay. He picks one up and he kind of motions to Castia. He says, could you cast light on this?"
Is your light currently on Orlandis's person?
Yes, I believe so.
Double check and see if you have multiple instances of light. Because that shit will be hilarious if you do it and he's in the dark. Oh God, help me! I need help! I need help! Help! Please help me!
Clings to
Yeah,
the
I
middle
mean,
Lana
of
just
the
tiptoes
person.
away.
It doesn't say that it's concentration or anything.
Yeah, so if
I'm
you
assuming.
see there, it's until the spell ends, the object sheds light. The light can be colored, completely covered. Spell ends if you cast it again or dismiss it as an action.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah.
I mean, it's okay if you cast it on it again.
Without telling me, while
Yeah.
I've got a spear pointed at a corpse.
It's all good. It can only go up from here.
Do it.
Would Castian know that's what would happen? I don't think so. I think that's.
Probably not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I'll cast light on that pebble.
So without being able to see now, Orlandis.
Yeah. Orlandis would try to fumble around for a torch in his knapsack.
Okay.
How well that goes, I'm sure everyone here has reached around in their bag full of other shit for one, certain piece of certain item
Okay. So what I
in
need,
the dark.
what I need from you is basically kind of a percentage chance here. You're going to
Gotcha.
succeed. You're taking your time, but there's
Okay.
another element at play that you're not aware of. So I need you to go ahead and just roll a D100, and we'll kind of
82.
Okay, so not bad. You managed to spark the torch, and as you kind of get the light and kind of look around, looking more at the corpse and the thing, there's a bit of runoff of the material that it's melted of, kind of off to the side, and it just seems to be burning. almost as if the
Oh.
material that it's made out of now is flammable, but you were
Oh,
fortunate that
okay.
the spark that jumped from your torch seems to have caught onto this disconnected bit of materia instead of the whole.
That's okay.
Could have been bad.
Could have been. Yeah, I'm gonna back up with flame in
Torch.
hand. I'm just gonna say to Balgar,
That's showing
Oh.
caution.
we should go. We should go.
Right. It's a miracle, friend.
Aye. Catch up with the others. We can come back and check this out.
There is a passageway that does head south when you kind of come back down the stairs that you know that the carrion crawler probably came from.
Okay.
Across this goal.
Yeah, kind of southbound on the waterway.
Walk that way.
But before we get there, I'm going to go ahead and move to the other crew. I need Castia and Astrogoth to make perception checks. And Lose, before you kind of get up there, can I have you kind of just hopped up onto like the level and kind of moved, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I need from you, Castia, as you kind of step up onto the landing and start to move, you hear a loud clicking sound as the ground beneath you falls away. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. And also tell me how you plan to, like, because it would have been about here-ish, I think,
Sorry, I didn't. Okay.
when that happened. So,
Wait, do you mean Castia or do you mean me?
not Cassia, sorry, Lose,
Okay.
Lose. Sorry,
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I was like, wait, she didn't go up there.
Lose.
Okay.
So I need to be here, right?
Yeah, and you hear a click, and you're pretty sure it's due to a pressure plate at your feet.
Yeah.
So just tell me, like, as that click happens, what you're planning to do. Like, either dive for the stairs, dive into the water, whatever your goal is. Just
The stairs are going up, right?
they are.
Yeah, I died for the stairs.
Okay. Make a dex saving throw.
I did 11.
Okay, so you will be caught underneath it. From the ceiling, a kind of lattice of metal and spikes drops, connected to a chain, slamming down onto you, knocking you prone and dealing 13 points of bludgeoning and piercing damage. If you have resistance to either, you resist it. Does that
No.
knock you unconscious?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I had 8 points.
As it hits her, Astrogoth, you see that the spikes kind of impale into her, and you hear a mechanism from the ceiling, and you watch it start to rise, and Lose is still connected to the bed of spikes. So it is lifting her up into the air.
Well, let's
Jesus Christ.
That's like
We'll leave her up there.
yeah, I'm gonna look over and be like, hey, we gotta get her down before that goes back up.
You would note that as it kind of ascends up to its 20-foot height, like there is a point where you realize that she's not going to remain connected up there. It's kind of going
Right.
to slowly deposit her. But I will
Here,
say,
I can fix this really easily.
well, just
Can
say
you?
what you're doing.
Okay, telekinetic movement. I'm gonna move Lose here.
Okay. So you kind of pull her off of the spikes and set her down onto the position there. And then Cassia, you see her hitting the bridge there. What's your kind of immediate reaction to that?
I think Castia will probably yelp out something, and because he doesn't know how to use her resources properly, will use a metamagic sorcery point to do a reach spell, cure wounds onto her.
Okay. So go ahead and roll the healing, and that'll be cool. Let's say that you're waking up and kind of coming to from everything that happened. I need you to make a perception check for me.
Alright.
Oh no.
I don't know what the last one did, but we'll roll another. 17.
You say the exact same trap is on the other side of the bridge.
Oh.
So if you were to walk that way, another spike trap would descend and kind of get you. You'd also notice that there seem to be a number of them along the path. I'm not going to highlight them as you just kind of see the notes of them in the dark.
So they're
Down
only
that
on the
path.
raised path.
On the right specifically, yeah. Or the left.
Oh, okay.
You're right as you're looking down that way, but on the left
Yeah.
side of the map, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Move
Castia
to
reaches
the-
out with her left hand and just kind of this silvery energy flies out and crashes into Lose for a massive 6 points of healing.
Amazing.
And then Lose, she'll kind of look at her hand like, I didn't
So
know
the
I
whole
could do
purpose of
that.
Clint getting light cast on that pebble was so he could throw it into the well and see how far down it went.
Sure. Yeah, it goes in and like it flows. It keeps descending. It's a pebble, so it doesn't sink like a rock. Well, I mean, it is a rock, but it's still a pebble. It does look
bigger
like there are
rock.
currents that move it, and eventually, like it's not so much that it is outside of your sight. There's like a small, very tiny kind of pinpoint of light that you see that's close to the walls, and then it kind of shifts out of your vision, which you would assume is at the very, very bottom, some hundreds of feet down. It opens into a wider cavity.
Yeah.
And
Not going down there by myself.
the currents or whatever moved it astride.
Well,
This area doesn't seem very nice.
no, and you probably want to stay away from the side of the path. Maybe try that side. Points over here.
Maybe I can ask Balgar to just make us another door that goes home.
Can he do that?
I mean, he made a door out of the carrion crawler.
Made a door in the carrying crawler.
Astrogoth, as you're kind of watching this interplay, you would notice that something brushes against your leg. As you kind of look to it, you notice it's a small fish that seems to be swimming directly northbound, kind of avoiding the struggle of the conflux in the middle there. And it seems these fish are coming from the south and are swimming directly north, from bottom of map to top.
Hey guys, it looks like this water's clean enough for things that should live in it to live in it.
I'm
I
sure
saw
I'm
it.
not living in it.
Well, you weren't a minute ago.
You're a well-traveled guy, Astrogoth. The water that seems to be coming from the south and moving to the north definitely has a kind of more aqueducty kind of sense to it than a sewer water. The spaces beyond obviously are a bit more dirty, but this water seems to be a bit different.
All right. I imagine I would probably, even though it's a disgusting thing about it, but I would reach down and like put my finger in it and then taste my finger and.
It's got an earthy taste to it. There's definitely a bit of loam there or something, like some kind of earthy material that seems to be coming in from wherever that southern kind of stream, that southern aqueduct is kind of getting fed from. But it's tolerable. You could probably drink it. If you wanted to fill your water skin, you could.
Well, this is drinkable water, everyone. It's definitely cleaner than that puddle of filth in the other room.
Yeah. I would say like it's trying to think of a place that you might have been that we can kind of relate to that has like strange tasting water. Like it's a bit more like country, like well watery. If you've ever had that.
Florida.
Not Florida. Like I'm talking about like Midwest, kind of
There's no gators in there
out in the middle of nowhere.
that we know of.
I
Yeah,
think-
no, but there is strange tasting well water in Florida.
Fair enough.
That's true.
I
Probably
really
the bath
knew about
salts in it.
Florida. Not all Floridians. Come on.
No,
Those.
he's right. Tom's
Okay.
right.
All
Tom's
Floridians.
right.
I
All of us.
Apologies.
We have all participated in the bath salting.
I didn't know. I
That is
am
very
putting the
accurate.
map markers down so that you know where they are at. Kind of,
Have you been to Florida, John? That's what they do when you cross the border. They're like,
I-
here, take
I-
these.
I have, but I think we missed the border guards at that time. It was back in like 2004.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Okay. It wasn't as bad as it was.
I guess that tracks.
As it is now, I guess. I don't know. There's like everywhere.
Orlandis and Balgar, by this point, as you kind of have, dealt with the traps, the Lose getting caught out by one, and they're kind of looking into the water, like shenanigans, and looking on. Orlandis, you were going south, or were you taking Balgar's advice and heading to the group?
Oh, if Balgar tells me
Is
to
that
go
what
to
you
the
were
group.
suggesting, Joe, or did I misinterpret that?
Definitely to meet back up with the others. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So
So
then,
then-
yeah, we'll go
Go ahead.
the way.
Don't worry about the perception checks. I assume as Lose sees you two kind of coming under the bridge.
Don't go over there, and don't go over there.
Wait, which way are we going? South or
I got
north?
you. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna put you where I want you.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay.
try to put you where I want you because the mouse is whack.
And don't go over here, and don't go over here.
Yeah, it looks like the one that you got hit by was like the last one. Like the steps beyond don't seem to have any above it.
So we could
The-
go up that way.
Good.
There are traps.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to talk
Here
about
and-
it, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she got stabbed, and then she went up in the air, and then she fell down. Yeah,
There, if this may sound not as strange, but there is a throne of sorts with half a body in it, and it has a sort of crown on its head.
I'm
That
assuming
is
that's
also-
not normal in sewers, right?
It is definitely not.
And you said that was
have you-
less strange than this?
It may be, yes. Or no. I mean,
Have-
now that I say it out loud, it is definitely more strange. But yes, there.
Think so.
um,
I'd be questioning
why-
what you'd seen before.
Lynn, you see that this divide between the chamber that you're in and the chamber you wish to move into, it's not natural. It's not like it's not natural, nor is it intended. It definitely looks like the wall has either decayed or kind of burnt away due to acid or has fallen in. There's a couple of bits of rubble in this space that kind of denote that the wall that you're moving up to has been removed. So you're actually moving into an alcove whose north wall has fallen away. And as you kind of move into the space, you realize that directly above you, there is a large tunnel that heads upwards, some 50 feet. At your feet, though, in front of you, if you don't move in or not, you'd be able to see, there is a sharp difference between the ground you're standing on and the ground you're moving into. The ground you're standing on has kind of like, a bit of like discoloration, dirt, pebbles, as we mentioned, the like. The floor directly in front of you is immaculately clean.
So this floor is sort of discolored and dirty,
Dirty.
and this floor is
Clean.
immaculate and clean. Okay.
The stone's still kind of a rustic color, but it's like a clean, like red brick kind of like or kind of brownish colored brick flooring.
Okay, so before I cross this threshold, I'd like to do two things.
Sure.
One, I'd like to proceed stealthily, and
Yeah.
two, I would like to be looking for signs of monsters and traps.
Okay. So if you're just kind of peeking out, go ahead and make a perception check when you do so, and I'm going to move to the others while you're doing that. So there was some fun back and forth between Orlandus Castia and the like. Mention of the throne. Do you folks wish to continue on after Glint, or do you wish to investigate anything else we've mentioned, or do you wish to return back to the throne?
I kind of want to see what is the deal with the throne, but I think our more importantly should get out of here or find that exit into Sepulchre's battle. What accent am I fucking doing?
I don't know, man.
man.
Sepulchre's battle. No, that fucking lost it. I lost Orlando.
You know, sometimes that happens.
It happens.
Fuck.
You
If
Sorry,
if
guys.
if you take the crown and sit in the throne, does that mean you're like king of the sewers?
I don't think so. I think you will die a horrible death.
some sort of.
I mean, the sewer already seems to be doing a very good job of that, though.
True.
That is true.
Maybe it'll just hasten the process.
Which
let's
way did?
finish? Or let's let Glint finish exploring and help him with that. He's
Yeah, I really just wanted to check out this next area.
So
That was really it.
walking this
Just
way, you would note that Glint, where you're standing, like it doesn't seem like there's anything untowards. But I'm gonna go ahead and move you up so you can kind of see in the space. Looking at it, it does look like there is a drop off about 5 feet, a staircase that drops down, and the room, this entire room, seems to have just a nice kind of cleanness to it. There's another wall on the far side on the left that appears to have just been broken out, similar to the one that you're on, almost as if it's kind of melted away or kind of like, fallen away. Yeah, that's where you're at.
I would like to scan the walls and ceiling of this room.
I've already covered that.
Okay, so and this isn't the room that goes up.
Nope. So the room's at your height is about 10 feet, and then at the floor height is about 15 feet for the roof in
Okay,
this room.
this might actually be a good place for us to try to take a long rest.
And a sewer?
If / when we would like to do that, but it seems like this room. I'm not sure who busted out these walls, but it seems like this room. So my brain is telling me that it's either this clean because it has been undisturbed and it's been isolated, or it's this clean because an ooze came through here and absolutely scoured everything.
Or somebody left a moonbeam on it for like 3 weeks.
Nobody does clean dirt.
It's
That's
true.
canon.
So there doesn't appear to be. So there doesn't appear to be like anything of interest in this room aside from the fact that it's really clean and whoever came through here busted out these walls.
Yeah, not with your perception check, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Orlando still hasn't seen an ooze yet.
Lose, are you moving after Glint and kind of inspecting, or he hasn't really kind of stepped into the space, I don't think, right?
Yeah.
Glint, you're still in the doorway, kind of peeking out, not hopping forward.
I mean, do you want me to make a stealth check? Because that
Yeah.
was my plan. Was I was going to move through this passageway and explore this room.
Yeah, go ahead.
You keep asking me to roll perception and
Oh, yeah,
investigation
I'm doing that
until
to
I
fuck
put my
with
points
everybody.
in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck,
just-
I cannot fucking roll anything.
Lose, as he kind of steps into the room and starts kind of breaking off either to the left or the right, whatever his decision is, if you're stepping up behind him and kind of taking the passageway fill, go ahead and make
Yeah.
a perception check as well.
Okay.
Do you?
Oh gosh.
Similarly, the only thing you're catching is that the floor is very neatly clean.
I need whatever made this is for the house that I no longer have.
And as you're kind of stepping into the space a bit more thoroughly, Glint, you do see that the ceiling does have kind of a lichen to it. Like there's a bit of like growth, kind of almost like it's like subterranean moss. But you can definitely see that there's a level about 10 foot high on the ground level, 10 foot high on your level, which is right up to the ceiling, where it seems to have been kind of cleaned off. There's like a very distinct line of it having kind of been removed.
Okay, that is suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Touch it. Touch it.
Are you going into the room or are you staying back?
I didn't see anything wrong with it, so yeah, I'll go in.
Cool. And Orlandis, you're obviously in the docket as you go next. So you
Yep.
wish to go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Okay. 11.
You guys are doing great.
We're doing so good, guys. So
It's
good.
like nobody can roll over a 10.
I rolled over a 10.
That is what's happening. Okay, so yeah, over a 10 will get you that. As you're looking at the room, there's some kind of dark mark kind of on the ground here, and also over
Mhm.
that way. And as you kind of
Okay.
peer out, it reminds you of the blood stain of the legs from the throne. It's like a very kind of
Oh.
sudden, forced evacuation of sanguine from a creature that has it, and it looks like it was kind of either pulled into the room from the passageway to the north, or it was trying to escape, and the whole time it was bleeding.
Do I notice like the pattern go
There's
from
no
here?
directionality of that perception check. It's literally just
Oh,
a
okay.
straight line. You don't know what direction it's pointing. It could be either way.
Oh no, but I see a line though.
Yeah, it goes
Like
to
going
the North
from-
Pole. Yep.
Okay. I do not. I don't think this place is safe.
Hmm.
The understatement
There-
of 3 weeks. 4? Are we? Is it the 4th week in the sewer? I can't remember.
Yeah. No,
This
this
is just the third.
Third. Okay.
has it really been 3 weeks in this?
Yeah, it's
God
been
damn.
3 weeks.
Yeah, because
Alright.
We
We-
started in the
last-
sewers last week.
And the week before that was the caves.
we got into the sewer at the very end. So
Oh, okay.
So it's like 2.5.
Orlandis is gonna point towards the line of blood going in and then more in. Well, what he believes is blood. He's gonna say,
And the thing is it's not like there's no material. It definitely
Yeah.
looks like it's just a staining in the stone.
okay. But it is odd,
Yeah.
right? Okay. He's just gonna say, I think something was dragged. I don't know which direction, but something was being dragged, and it is leaking.
maybe it was a trap, like happened out in the hallway there.
I'm not going first in that case then.
You're fine now.
Yeah, I could use a map though.
Okay. Glint, you are handy with your weapons, yes?
Which ones? And he kind of like pulls back his coat, and you see his belt is just like loaded,
The pointing
all
one.
kinds of stuff.
Or the saber. I just need you, just in case, to be right behind me, and if anything comes out, just stab it.
Meanwhile,
But I will go first.
Balgar, you kind of come out of the waterway into the conflux. You see the traps that were pointed out to you by Lose. You see Astrogoth kind of moving in the direction of the rest of the group, and you personally are kind of coming up in the rear. So you can do whatever you like at this point. You see all the things that have been kind of highlighted. If you have any questions as to what you might have missed, let me know. But yeah, traps along the left side, possible manhole out the place there. Big well 5 feet off the waterway that you're on, where Astrogoth's standing. And the northern path, where the water is flowing up from the south.
Very well.
Well, hold on. I'm talking to Joe.
No, I'm good. I'll follow behind Astrogoth.
Okay, and Astrogoth, obviously, to you. You see Castia. You've seen the others kind of move into that space. You would notice that it does look like it's one of the manhole alcoves, but it looks like its back wall's been blown out. Phrasing.
Alrighty, well, I'm definitely trying to follow them. Given what I've seen in here, I'd rather be with the group than not.
Okay. All right, and then Cassia, do you move in behind the other three?
I will stay a little bit back.
Okay, perfect.
Castia, not a fan of getting stabbed by things.
To Glint.
Pulls out his short sword and parrying dagger, He's ready for whatever happens. Should he and Orlandis encounter trouble?
Orlandis is gonna drop down and then start heading towards that crevice
Down the
with
foot.
yeah.
Okay.
And then with shield out and Glint behind him, he's just gonna start making his way, trying to be as careful as possible.
Thing was an ooze.
Okay. So as you enter into this kind of space here, you would see that there is a hallway that goes to the left, which you believe reconnects to the waterway that headed north from the conflux.
Mm-hmm.
To the right, there's a path that seems to kind of wind to the left, and it kind of sounds like there is a bit of water sound kind of coming from that area, almost as if there's water cascading and dropping from somewhere.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna just check it. I'm gonna do the Metal Gear Solid look around the corner thing.
Sure.
Can do.
You see another one of these round circular locations. There is water dropping down from above. It does look like it is a decent amount of water, but not like a waterfall or anything. Kind of just a good, steady flow of water that's kind of dropping down, hitting the middle of this pool here in the center. If you look up, you would note that there is a pretty decent sized hole. And due to the hour, you're not really getting a lot of light in there, but it does look like, it's not too dark. Because if I remember correctly, you folks entered into the space about afternoon time, and you have taken a long rest down here.
Yes.
We took a. Did we?
One of our 2 long rests ever in the campaign. Yes.
Yeah, I guess we.
So it's kind of like you're not sure if it's like late at night up there, or if it's like early morning, but it's kind of dark, but like not completely pitch black. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
It could either be
And-
like late evening or like early portion of like the movement into dawn.
Only
Is
somebody
this-
had an Apple Watch.
Is this area, is it clean? Like immaculate? Or is it...
It is relatively clean. It does look like the water that's coming into it from the north is also flowing into it. And like the other space that you were in before, it looks like it goes straight down for a long, long time. If
Okay.
Glint were a betting man, looking at it and having seen the way the pebble kind of floated off underneath whatever is at the bottom, you would presume that they both enter into a very large space below, like a massive cistern that kind of is connected by these 2 wells.
Okay. Alright, so then Orlandis is gonna keep moving forward.
Okay. You see a step that kind of goes up into a small alcove, and at the end of the alcove, you see a treasure chest.
Open it.
No.
Open it. Touch it.
No. it's
Poke
it with
not.
your
Use
spear.
your candle
Open
bowl.
it.
Jonah's like, no, this is the wrong character.
It is 100% a trap, like the one we saw before.
Poke it with your
mimic.
spear.
It's a
Poke it
Um,
with your spear.
Yeah.
I'm
Poke it
going
with
to.
your spear.
I am going to poke it with my spear, but from a distance. I'm going to toss my spear.
Do you want to call somebody
into-
else to come and help you with that, or no?
Actually, yes, because magic is
Okay.
better.
Because again,
And you don't want to lose another spear.
I don't want to lose.
You should just carry like 12 of them, bud.
This is the greatest part about
Yeah.
D&D. You don't always have to drive. You don't have to be the guy who does everything. If you think
That's
someone else
true.
could probably do it better, make them do it.
Several people could do it better.
100 of
oh.
them, yeah.
Literally
Yeah,
everybody.
You
There's-
literally suck at being the scout. Like, that's not...
True that. True that.
Well, lucky for you, you kind of brought the scout with you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Orlandis is going to point out that there is in fact a chest, but
Yeah.
to remind Glit that it could be like the other one.
Cassius is
Okay.
next on the docket, and you're kind of coming in cautiously and making sure you're following those correctly. Go ahead and make a perception roll.
All right, let's see if I can get higher than 11.
Come on, baby, you got this.
17.
As you kind of come into the room, you kind of look over here for a second, kind of stop looking at it. And I would say that pacing-wise, it's probably as Orlandis and Glint are leaving this room, and there's a flicker of the light that seems to kind of... It's almost like there's a reflection in midair of the torchlight, just kind of floating in that space. And as you look at it a bit more, kind of confused as to why the fuck that's happening, you see what appears to be a very, very, very fine and nigh invisible line of what appears to be a cube, kind of in this space. These 4 squares kind of here.
Fiona, I found something weird. Oh, wait,
yeah.
wrong game.
Hey, that's my line.
Look, Lose,
Yeah.
I'll kind of like point it out, like
Okay.
point.
Ah,
In that.
Even
fuck,
despite
of
you pointing
course
it out,
It's one of those.
you're not able to see it.
Oh, I'm not.
He's trying,
Oh.
or she's trying to kind of like show you it, but
Oh,
it
okay.
to you is invisible.
What are you seeing?
It's like there's water but only in that.
Have you ever seen the movie Abyss? Never mind.
I don't see anything.
There.
You're seeing it over here. Starts walking towards.
No, wait, don't.
Don't? But
But-
there's nothing there.
There is.
Honey, do you need
If
to
there's
take a
nothing-
nap?
There's
Yes,
nothing there.
but
Throw a rock.
Ash, yeah, throw a rock. Astrogoth, if you kind of move up behind Cassia and kind of take a peek in, you can make a perception check as well. Because she's pointing at where it's at, and the reason why, double checking rolls here, yeah, the reason why Lose didn't get it is because her initial roll is what I'm judging off of, and with advantage, it doesn't shift to a point where she sees it. However, since you have advantage because of the pointing out, you do see it, just as I described it to Cassia.
Oh yeah, there's something there.
You're a worldly folk. You know it's a gelatinous cube, and Lose is it's mentioned by the bard. I'm assuming you say what it is.
Yeah.
Mm.
You too are a worldly individual. You know what it is, and like you know you can't see it, but you don't
Mm.
disbelieve them because you know how they
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Is that a food?
No, you can't eat it.
Have
It's not that I
Have somebody
know.
tried?
Actually, you can make an alcohol out of it.
It's the snack that bites back.
Actually, you can make an alcohol out of it.
Gelatinous cube.
Cube vodka. Not joking.
It's like
Geometric.
It's a recipe
it's
we
like-
made up.
it's like pineapples.
No, not at all.
You eat
Is
it,
it-
it eats you.
It's like
Is it gonna?
brain alcohol. If you're
That
savage.
does eat you.
Is it gonna just
That's
stay
Uh,
there, or do we need to get out?
I sure hope so. I can't see it though, honey. So maybe we should get out of here.
Is that space that I'm pinging is just a
That's
5 foot?
passageway? Yeah, it's basically it's similar to the
Okay.
wall eroded away that you're coming through.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if it is like water, but it may not be able to fit in there. So maybe we should just hurry to.
Bulgar, I'm not gonna leave you out. Go ahead and make a perception roll so you don't make any missteps. And again, advantage because Cassia is kind of highlighting where it's at. Not satisfactory, but again, once it's explained to you what it is, even though you can't see it, you kind of have an idea of where it's about. You just don't have a direct line on it. So yeah, you folks kind of casually move off to the left side, hop down the 5 feet, working together to do so, and then move into that kind of passageway. In the time that you're doing it, nothing crazy happens, like, you know, like invisible wall moving towards you and trying to scoop you up, pseudopod flaring out of nowhere and smashing into you. It seems to just continue to maintain its immobile station.
Well, that's good.
Never take the stairs. Lesson learned.
Oh, good. We're not in a Dark Souls game.
Lose tried to take the stairs, got stabbed.
Well, in a
You
Dark
take the
Souls
stairs
game-
in here.
If you want a trap to happen, you have to fuck with it. I was hoping someone would go, well, I'm not going to just jump down, I'm going to take the stairs. But it didn't happen, so here we are. Orlandis, you kind of pass the buck to Glint. Glint, you move up to the treasure chest.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand at the stairs and kind of look at it for a moment, and then Glint takes a knee and swaps his weapons for his short bow, and he shoots an arrow at it.
Sure. Go ahead and make an attack roll. It's immobile and it has a dex of -5, so you hit it. You watch as the arrow hits and just crumples against the shell of the chest. The chest appears to be made out of an amalgam of like thick brass iron and like very heavy oak wood. So the wood doesn't appear. It appears to have been lacquered and treated so that the conditions don't cause issue with it. But as the arrow kind of hits it, it leaves like a nice score across the lacquering and bolt rather. No arrow, sorry. And it just the arrow's gone. That arrow does not exist anymore.
Glint's he looks surprised. He says, "Whoa, that's looks back Orlandis." He says, "That's a very sturdy chest."
Can you try to pull it this way?
I I could try.
I sound more like Balrog
More and more every day.
every day. Yeah,
Just miss him.
I do. I
Hmm.
miss my boy.
Well. Okay. And then he steps back. Let's see here. Yeah, he's gonna use telekinetic movement to attempt to move the chest to the square he was just.
Is there a limitation on the weight?
It just says a large.
Okay. Large is the size. Okay. How far does it move it?
Up to 30 feet.
Are you moving it the full?
One loose object that is large or
Are you moving it
smaller.
the full 30?
Well, if I moved it the full 30, it'd be in my space.
Yeah, I was asking you that, so if you said it wrong, I could smash it into you as a
No,
gag,
I was
but
just gonna
you're-
move it
you're a
here
smart kid.
into the
Okay.
space I was in.
More than fair. Okay, yeah, whoosh, and then it kind of just drops and lands.
And I had to spend a
It
psionic
doesn't-
energy dice for that one.
Right. It doesn't shatter, doesn't break, nothing crazy happens. It's just a very kind of solid plunk as it smashes down on the ground. It then grows a tongue out of its mouth as it opens. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, while I was testing it to see if it was an illusion,
Right.
in my brain I was like, if it's also a mimic.
If it was an illusion,
Um,
I wouldn't have made you use your psionic dice for it because you would have tried to grab onto nothing. But it was.
Well, I already proved it wasn't an illusion because
Yeah, it moved. It
protected
came.
the arrow.
Yeah.
So, now that it's right in front of me, I'm gonna check it for traps and see if it's locked.
It is. And
It is.
It does
It
appear
is
to have
trapped or it is locked.
locked. It is not trapped.
Okay.
You said you were checking to see if it was locked, right?
Well,
for
I was
traps,
checking
he
to
said.
see if it was trapped
And
and checking to
traps.
see if it was locked.
So it's not trapped so far as to say, but it is
Okay.
certainly locked.
Okay. So I will try to unlock it.
Okay. Thieves' tools. Dexterity.
Thieves' tools, dexterity.
I can't help him.
You get thieves' tools
Too
trained.
late. No.
It's 15.
15 is not sufficient. If you want to spend your inspiration, you're welcome to, if you have it.
I do not have inspiration. I believe I spent that on Baldar.
I don't have it either.
Anybody have
Does
it?
anybody have inspiration?
No.
People need to start making puns.
I do.
Oh? Do you want to spend it?
Yeah, you can have it.
Excellent. Thank you.
25 will do it. Pop, click. I need two of you, two representatives of your choice, to go ahead and roll D100s for me.
I'll do it since it was my inspiration.
Yes,
That sounds good. And I will do the other one since I opened it.
that is fair.
So
28.
28.
And 51. Okay. There are a pair of bracers inside, seated next to what appears to be a very neatly folded cloak.
Neat.
The cloak in question has, like the gauntlets, or the bracers rather, a very elvish styling to them. Looking at them, they appear to have been made by spring elves. Lose, as you kind of see them come out, you definitely recognize the artifice of the spring elf magical craftsmen. So without even having to roll anything, you just know that they're magical. And based on just very typical design choices, the cloak is very clearly a cloak of elven kind.
Nice.
You don't even have to roll or use an identify on that. That one's just a given.
Yeah.
That would really tie my look together.
That's all I would. No, you need a cape of the mountebank. That's what you need.
It is pretty sick.
It's pretty dope, and I think it would be like, I mean, mountebank, but
I did use it a lot.
unless you dimension door.
Yeah,
Although I do like the
I
bright
mean-
greens with all the reds, because that's what he's got right now. If you could just
Mhm.
take off the feathers and attach them to the. Would that affect the cloak of Elvenkind? No, because all you have to do is put the hood up for the Elvenkind. It doesn't say anything else about anything else. Yeah, that'd work. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry for the rant. Go ahead, Chad.
well, I was just gonna say I hate to be that guy, but I think Glint as like the only stealthy member in the party.
Castius plenty
that's-
stealthy.
Yeah, not accurate, but yeah, that's fine. I think Lose is also not bad at stealth as well. So
You're all wrong.
Okay.
Orlandus is the
Orlandus
stealthiest of
is
us.
the most stealthiest.
right.
I mean, we can have that discussion after we actually get the items properly
I've got
identified.
a 4 on it, untrained.
So
I got
yeah,
2.
Glint pulls the items out carefully, hands them off to Orlandis, and he's gonna kind of takes a moment and he's gonna check the chest for a false bottom.
No.
Okay. And he kind of looks at it as he closes the lid, and he says, "It's a shame we gotta leave such a wonderfully crafted chest down here."
The gelatinous cube might like it.
The what?
What?
Yeah,
Don't
there was
worry,
a
I didn't see it either.
gelatinous
Jell-O
cube
square.
back there. That's what the vampire called it.
Glint, he says, "I didn't," and then he says, "Oh, right." And then he thinks about it for a second. He says, "A gelatinous cube. Yeah, that makes sense." Nobody touched
Oh,
it.
wait, you said you're a monster hunter, right? I had a question. They didn't know. Can you eat it?
Can you eat it?
You can drink it, but you have to go through a very large process, and you need another recipe. Otherwise, it's
Right.
very deadly to your health. You're drinking acid.
Right.
No.
Sounds
Well,
like
I mean,
making real
no,
life Jello
with-
shots.
Exactly.
with some, well, it requires a lot of preparation, but I guess you could drink it.
I mean, maybe for the tavern someday. But yeah, we should get out of here.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So, with cloak and bracers in hand, would Orlandis know that these are elven in make?
Absolutely, clearly, but more so, Lose would be the one who knows the exact nature of the cloak.
Yeah. No, he would definitely give them to Lose because she would know best. But
You're a Parnan, and again, it may not be something that you read in the handout, but just to make sure you're clear, Parnans have they hold elves to a higher standard because during the War of Sword and Serpent, Parnans were the humans, that rose to defend the elves against the dragons. So,
100%.
the Aetan tradition is very much a concept of elves are rad.
Yeah.
They taught you how to sword. But yeah,
True.
yeah. Are you passing them off to anybody? Like, again, she tells you what the cloak is, and so you don't need to identify it. It's already identified.
Okay.
But that Balgar dude can identify the other one.
I
Right.
sure can.
Yeah, I mean,
shall.
I'll give him the bracers.
Okay. So, as you explore the bracers, I want you, Joe, to roll a d6.
Uh-oh.
What?
Something I'm trying
I'm
to do.
blued up.
You rolled a 6? Oh, you rolled a 5? Okay, cool. So that's
Real
not
5.
cool. So,
It's a bomb.
no, it is a pair of. Trying to remember the name of these damn things. So the roll would have elicited a bracers of archery, but to mix it up, I have a bracers of not archery in my shit. So I was gonna go low for what it is in the book and high for what it is in my book because
Cool.
I'm a
We
lame
like
fuck.
we like homebrew.
Absolutely.
Hell
So
We do like homebrew.
the item in question is
Bracers of Moonbeam.
no, obviously not that. Is it really in Cardiff's? Okay, yeah, it's in Cardiff. So hold on a second here. I don't know where my
Cardiff, who's
stuff.
that guy?
Some moron.
Sounds like a jerk.
Absolutely. Right. So they are what are called rapid strike bracers. It's a wondrous item, uncommon. When you would use your reaction to take a ready action or opportunity attack, you gain the benefits of any feature that would normally only apply to taking the attack action on your turn, such as the extra attack class feature. So normally when you take a reaction attack, you only get to make one melee attack.
Mhm.
You don't get to take your full itinerary. With these weapons instead, you get to full itinerary.
Oh man, that would be so sick on a monk.
That is-
Because you wouldn't be able to
Absolutely.
bonus action flow. It's still just the two
Oh,
attacks.
that's right.
That's for
It'd
high
be
level
great on
fighter.
a fighter.
Fair.
Yeah. Also great for a duelist who kind of get the same progression extra attack wise, if I remember correctly.
Oh, they get the
Yeah,
extra.
They're
steps?
fighters with extra steps.
Nice.
What were they called again?
Rapid strike bracers. I just posted them in the
Alright.
Discord.
Hell yeah. They're identified.
Nice.
And yeah, I think light bracers of archery they do not require attunement. Double checking my bracers of archery.
Went high fives, low say.
They do require attunement. Sorry, let me go ahead and change that.
High five.
Okay.
Back. I don't know what we're high fiving for though.
Always a good time for a high five.
Yeah, just
Well,
Except
we're the
when
stealthy.
there's a gelatinous
we're-
cube between you.
that's true.
We're the stealthy, stabby ones. So
very
Use high fiving
stabby.
because you're probably going to be the ones who benefit from this. But I want to stress something like regarding the cloak. If you're already stealthy, upgrading your stealth is great, but giving someone the gift of stealth is also beneficial because then you're not the only one doing it. But some items allow
Awesome.
for characters to kind of raise up to a standard that's not sucky. But again, if you want to focus it all into one super scout, that's also a great idea. But there are definitely options here.
I'm
we're just
wearing
trying to
heavy
get
armor.
the curse.
Yeah, I'm trying to get someone else the curse. I don't want to do it to Chad again. I mean, to Chad.
I'm already wearing heavy armor, so it's already at disadvantage. It don't matter.
It would grant you advantage, which means it would null out.
That's
It
fine.
would just be flat,
Cloak,
normal.
cloak. It goes against my.
And also, on top of that,
Aesthetics.
the fun part about Cloak of Elvenkind is it's not just advantage on stealth checks for sight. It's also disadvantage on perception checks to see you.
Yeah.
So you can literally make a hobbit super stealthy because they're already stealthy, but you can also make a dwarf not suck at stealth too. Just saying.
Yeah.
That could work.
It's an upgrade. It's a pretty huge upgrade. It's either going to be someone's going to be completely invisible, or somebody who's not good at stealth is going to be able to keep up with your vampire scout.
Could I grab that cloak?
Yeah.
Fight for it. It's the only way. We have to do it. Everybody,
Oh,
roll attack.
okay.
No,
I mean, I got like 3 HP. but-
Everybody go take
Let-
turns
let
punching a
wins.
gelatinous cube. Last
Hey.
man standing gets it.
Yeah. Hey, Jonah, whenever you Orlandus was like, Glenn, you're the best with the sword. I was like, bitch, them's fighting words. It was almost
Well,
PvP
he's-
there for a second.
He's sneaky deaky, and you just got hit with a trap. I didn't want to put you on the front line.
You got 3 HP. I got twice as much as you.
6.
True. But
You're
I
welcome
have-
for those 6, by the way.
I have a really high AC.
I don't.
All right.
Yeah, the bracers can go. I mean,
We-
the only 2 people I think would benefit from it are Glint and Lose. Orlandus, it doesn't affect your
Not at all.
commander strike, so
Not at all.
nothing
It
great.
doesn't. I can make people attack anyway.
However, can you post your commander strike ability for me? Because I think it actually makes you better whoever you put them on, because they
Let me
get to
see.
attack as a reaction.
Yeah, it is their reaction.
Let me double check reading on rapid strike.
Yeah.
Because I think I covered this. I just want to be sure. You take a readied action or opportunity attack. It does not go for direct.
Mm.
By the wording of the rapid strike. So good. I'm glad I didn't catch myself in a. I just made you the god of blending.
I mean, that would have
Will
been
it blend?
super sick.
Would it technically still work because it's a reaction nonetheless?
No, you can use your reaction to take a readied attack or opportunity attack. The only 2 that
Oh,
you
it's
can do.
specific. Okay.
Yep.
I got you.
So
okay.
who without? I mean, definitely, I'm not gonna like claim one of these items. I'm definitely gonna leave it up to the party to decide who gets what.
As a group, yeah.
So I'm just trying to figure out who has like the highest. Who not trained in stealth has the highest stealth modifier.
Mine is 5 right now,
God
and I'm
damn.
trained in it.
So yours is better
okay.
than mine.
Yeah. It sounds like Astrogoth is 5, Lose 4, Castia 3.
Like one.
One.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Balgar, what's your dex score, buddy?
One
And
as
you-
well.
But you have
I got one.
Jack of all trades now, right?
Yeah.
Plus
Yep.
2 to your roll for stealth, and Orlandis has +1.
I got one, but it's a disadvantage. 'cause-
Because if we put it on Lose, then like Lose and Glint can scout together. So
Right.
if we do run into trouble, we can fuck it up nicely.
Alternatively, if you put it on Astrogoth, you and Astrogoth can scout together, and he can
Right.
support from behind instead of being in melee and tight quarters. If you have a Lose with you, she's going to have to bow it if she's behind you, or you're going to have to hand bow it if you're behind her. Whereas
No,
Astrogoth,
I do have
Four
invisibility
arrows.
though.
yeah, he can.
I mean, I can also climb on walls.
Yeah, okay. Astrogoth, as we learned during the Great Crawler extravaganza, Astrogoth is actually the master of stealth. You all suck at it. Sorry. I
Yeah.
apologize
That's
for
true.
speaking
That's-
in a negative
How
fashion.
dare you?
The great stealthy bugbear. They are sneaky.
Oh yeah, they are.
It's canonically
I know
true.
If you just pretend that you belong there, no one will see you.
If I move really
Yeah.
slowly, they
Like,
can't see
yeah.
me.
Or it's like wearing like a bright orange or like the highlighter green shirt, and
Yes.
you can just go anywhere
The highlighter
because
green.
they're- everyone's just like.
I mean, that's
People are
basically
just
what a
like,
cloak of Elvenkind
yeah,
is.
they belong there.
Oh, I think I almost knocked my. I was close. I almost sucked the screen up. Just the wall disappears, and it's just like a bunch of my fucking room. That'd be crazy. Anyway,
Wait,
So-
you have a room?
yeah, I don't live in a void. Astrogoth is already good at stealth. Lose's pretty good at stealth. Cassia's not great. Orlandis is the worst. Balgar is probably right above Orlandis, and well, no, better than Cassia. Cassia is the second worst. Loser.
You get that a lot.
She's just a little baby.
Just a baby.
Who do you want to put it on?
Cloak?
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were giving it to Orlandos.
Got one vote for Orlandis.
Got 2 votes for Orlandis.
Fuck you, vote for yourself.
I mean, if everybody else is okay with Orlando's having it.
I mean, he has it. It's canceling out a
It's
negative.
actually embarrassing.
Yeah, and
bad
I
is
mean,
it?
he does end up being near the front quite often, so he can be a little less easily perceived. That's probably.
That is a bit true. Now, hopefully, this does not mean he's going to take this as like a
It's
Oh,
Jonah. You already know,
no,
idiot.
I'm hoping he doesn't take this as like the hall pass to go wherever he wants.
It's
outside of
not.
being with the
I'm
party.
not.
That I mean,
You mean he doesn't do that already?
yeah.
That's true.
This is just slightly mitigating the consequences.
Fair enough. Okay, so
Okay, we gotta stop bullying
Cloak
Jonah.
of Elvenkind on Orlandis. Rapid strike bracers. The fighter over time, if it gets into higher levels, will benefit the most from it. I think. Just double check the duelist is not as much extra attack as a fighter, but again, the duelist would also benefit from it just being able to attack multiple times on opportunity attacks. And
They actually get the same amount, but fighters get action surge because
that's what I was trying to
Yeah.
reference. It doesn't matter
I
for
got you.
this one specifically, because you can't action surge on the reaction, but yeah.
Okay. Where's the cloak?
Who do you want to give it to?
Do they
Me.
both? Do the both of you have like a thing you can add on to attack, like a smite?
Lose is the only one, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
I've got
Psionics.
Psionic.
They both
Psionic, yeah.
I mean, it honestly depends on who's gonna blow their load first,
Right.
like on a reactionary
I
attack.
will put this out there though. Glint has versatility with the psionic dice, so
Mhm.
there's other options. Whereas Lose right now it's just Dawn's Grace Strike for her big point attack.
Oh shit, I keep forgetting to talk to you about another martial technique. They're not on the list.
Oh, hold on. Okay, keep
Because
going.
I have a second martial technique now,
Got you.
but I couldn't find anything.
I'll fix that here. Hold on.
Thanks.
But continue talking amongst yourself.
I mean, I don't particularly care.
trying to think. Who's
Haven't
been up?
found it.
Yeah, but who's been like up in there? Like in the front.
Glint.
Also me.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Kind of a tie.
Oh shit.
I mean, we
Yeah.
are like, we're basically fighters.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
I'm
true.
literally a fighter. You got
Okay.
a lot of the same features, or I guess,
Fight, as John said, fighter with extra steps.
right?
Let the fates decide. Roll off.
Damn right.
Fuck it. Roll a
Oh,
d20.
I know. A d20?
Yeah, highest D20 gets them.
11 and up. Oh,
9.
okay.
You can beat that.
Oh,
Oh.
no, Chad.
Malika!
Malaga!
God damn.
Oh, I love you. He chatted it so hard. He's like,
Malika, what the fuck?
I'm ready to biff this shit.
I am actually. It's legitimately impacting my ability to have fun.
Malika, what the fuck?
Like
Okay.
these chronic.
Chat, I want to let you know, your inability to have fun in this type of instance is creating a means for me to have fun, so please don't leave.
I rolled a 20, and that was on a stationary chest.
I remember that.
Best 2 out of 3? We can do 2 out
Oh,
of 3.
don't.
No, it's not that big of a deal.
If
It's
you don't want
fine.
it, let him have it. I mean, if you feel sorry
Okay,
for
you
him.
can have it. I don't care.
Okay, she said you can
I
have
literally
it. Good
do
job.
not
Way
care.
to way to play the way to
Alright.
play the sap card.
No, I'm legitimately more upset about rolling a 1 than I am about not getting the magic item.
You might roll better in the next, time you have to roll.
Don't
you never
lie
know.
to him.
I'm-
It's
I'm
just
not
gonna hurt.
lying.
It's just
It's-
gonna hurt him worse when it doesn't happen, like you said it
It's
will.
a possibility.
I still
See?
rolled lower.
Better. Better, though.
This is
Even
I'm sorry,
better.
Chad, I was-
No, that was
together.
tough.
I
I'm
tied.
sorry, Chad. I
That's
was really
fine.
hoping I'd roll a 20.
This is a martial technique, you
Toxic.
said?
Toxic.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Tom, you're toxic.
It's true. I am. I'm sorry, Chad. I love you. I'll fight Malika for you.
He's like
Please
my
do.
Tom's like my id. It's like the worst I can possibly be. And I love
Alright, so
that about him.
after we do that, we're gonna continue onward in the sewer. I don't think there's not a way to traverse this other than spider climbing, right?
Correct. Or swimming.
Okay, I'm not gonna swim that. I have heavy armor. I'm just gonna go this way.
Cloak of Elvish Kind doesn't give you advantage on athletics, Chad.
Yeah, true. I'm just gonna go this way across the mucky ducky water, and then
Okay. So you do
Continue.
notice that there is a bit of breakage on the wall south of you, and that rise is actually about 10 feet above the canal ways, whereas the other
Oh.
portion is like not that high up.
okay. Could I just go like this way
Yeah.
and then up? Okay.
Yep. In this next space you're looking at, you do see these pillars, and the pillars are like the pillars with the throne room, where there's chains that seem to run up from the floor along, kind of helixing around the outside of the pillars up to the ceiling. The ceiling in this space is much higher, appears to be about 40 feet high. It's
Are
very
there stalactites?
no. It is very hard to see the ceiling with your torchlight. However, Glint, with your dark vision, you do see that the entirety of the ceiling appears to be covered in this kind of black oil slick. Looking into the space, you do see that there is a rise. Looks like there's a staircase that goes up it. This goes about 10 feet. And then the next rise goes up about another 10 more feet. And kind of tucked in the corner, just at the kind of edge of your torchlight, you see what looks like a treasure chest in the back corner,
Oh no.
tucked behind another.
That's
Pillar.
sus. Hella sus. But I can't
There
see
wouldn't be 2 of them in a row.
And I can't see the ceiling, right?
You can't see the ceiling. However, he can, so. Yeah. Now, what's your maximum focus right now, Elizabeth?
Mine? Oh.
Mine?
Yeah.
5.
Okay.
I guess
I'm seeing the
I'm
chest.
looking at the thing again too. I guess it's not necessarily a martial technique. It's just the duelist archetype feature. But under
No, you should have gotten that when you got the duelist archetype. You should have a total of 3 martial techniques. One is Dawn, one is your duelist archetype, and then this new one at 5th level is one you get to choose, I believe, right?
Yeah, it just says duelist archetype feature.
Yeah, and I gave that one to you, I think. Let me double check the wording here. Sorry, folks. This is exciting D&D right here.
We can also do this later. I'm not worried
Yeah, that's
about
fine. Again, I'm just waiting for them to decide whether or not they want to kill themselves or not.
Orlandus can't see the ceiling. I guess he'll just ask Glint to pull that chest again. Or to test
Glint
it.
is first going to shoot it with a short bow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at 5th level, you gain the ability to ascertain the truth of your enemy by crossing blades. That's a feature that you get. That should be listed under your substance. Your blade master. Oh no, your death dancer. Sorry. You get.
So it's encroaching dismay.
That's the one. At 5th level, you get encroaching dismay, and then
Okay.
because the number ticks up on the chart, you get to choose one martial technique, and I'm gonna take a screen cap of what I'm looking at, and the language might change depending on what you choose because they are the screen cap I'm taking is the Adventures of Rokugan book, and we're obviously streamlining it to a bit more kind of lock into what we're playing. Okay.
Yeah.
Just give me a second for that screenshot. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, you folks are winning Dungeons and Dragons. That's what we agreed to.
100%. We are winning.
That's what I heard.
We win every day,
You said
boy!
you shot up at the ceiling?
No, he shot the chest, right?
You're shooting the
The
chest?
chest.
Which is it, Chad?
Yeah, I see the chest here. We're shooting at the chest.
Okay, it does exactly as it did if you want to make an attack roll. Hit it first, actually.
So I imagine a 26.
It arrow shatters onto it just like the last time.
Okay, I'll go ahead and click that arrow off. And he looks to Orlandus and he says, "Seems legitimate."
Can you pull it through you again?
I could, but that'll I'll need to well, we probably should find somewhere to rest, because after this I won't be able to do any more tricks today.
Do you wish to just open it regularly?
Well, not without some investigation. So if you would wait here.
Okay.
Glint is going to make his way to the chest. He's going to check for traps along the way. Then he's also going to check.
But you're
chest
actively
for-
seeking, make a perception check.
If I'm looking for traps, I thought that was investigation.
You're searching around. You're moving up. Perception. You haven't gotten to the chest yet.
16.
You take a second as you're kind of moving up, kind of stop before you go up the steps, and you kind of look up. Ceiling's completely clean.
The upper platform.
No, the ceiling, which I said was covered with oil slick, is completely clean.
Now,
There's
Yes.
no more oil slick on the ceiling.
like just the area directly above this platform, or like
So,
the whole thing.
The whole platform area above was covered with oil slick when you first came into the space and looked up.
Right.
You kind of started talking to Orlandus, got distracted, started moving up, getting ready to deal with the trap, shot it, and then kind of, went towards the steps. You kind of stop for a second and look up. Gone. There is no oil on the ceiling.
That sounds.
Can I look around to see where it's gone? See if it
Yeah.
has gone anywhere, or if
So-
I can find it anywhere.
Bear with me here for a second. I am going to roll a dice.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is an oh-no, by the way. That is a correct statement.
This is a situation where you need like one of those direction and distance dice, like where the
Can
shot
I-
lands. Yeah.
Can I use my new cloak of Elvic kind to sneak away?
So it's an action to drop or put the hood up. So
Don't worry, we'll wrap your body in it afterwards.
Okay, thank you. Just hide my body from.
that rolled in the open,
Any-
right?
Shroud.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Apologies for kind of tipping my hand on that one, but you do see it.
Pudding.
It is coming down the pillar here, and slowly is kind of
Oh.
catching up behind you. Everyone that is not Glint during this first round of initiative will be surprised.
Okay.
And let me change the music to something a bit more horrifying.
Hey, before we roll,
Oh yeah. Does anyone that is in my aura want to sacrifice their turn to go right after me?
I sure do.
Okay. And I have advantage on it.
You sure do.
Oh yeah. That's
Now you
what I
guys are
like.
cooking with gas.
Sure.
Cooking with that gas.
You don't
I
get
thought
to
the
decide-
7 was you.
Chad, did someone say? Chad, did you say sure? Who said sure?
I
It
did.
was Tom.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought Chad
Astrogoth
wrote-
isn't
I
in
just-
the range.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Negative.
Chad, yeah,
I'm not surprised, so I'm going before him anyways.
Yeah, because they're all going to be kind of standing there like a bunch door. That is accurate. I like this music for these kind of fights because it's called the Impure, and I just think of oozes in most cases as being kind of like really gross, nasty material.
I'm not really like when somebody makes like an open offer like that. I'm not really fond of competing with my teammates.
Yeah, for sure. Who am I missing on here?
I am taking Orlandis as well.
For sure. And Orlandis, how you want to place him?
I'll go with Lose and
Cassia.
then Cassie. Yeah.
Okay. And then
Damn,
1, 2,
that's a lot of 20s.
3, 4, 5. Astrogoth, did you roll?
No, I didn't because I was gonna go with that initiative.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're-
just roll and then edit in your
Oh.
number.
I'll be nice and say you were able to catch up. You had to be in their aura for that, so
Oh yeah.
no worries.
Oh wait, let me just do roll initiative.
Oh, you don't have to.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
You said you wanted to be with them, so
correct.
that's fine. And then do you want Astrogoth to go before Cassia or after Cassia, Jonah?
I'll go after.
Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right. With that all being done, during the first round of initiative, it is going to attack you. You are definitely the target, and have been the whole time, making noise, shooting bows and shit. It is within striking distance. You watch as like a coil of the slit kind of flares down at you, kind of like a whip-like gesture towards your head. What? 17?
AC is currently 18.
Okay, that'll miss.
Oh yeah.
It would have hit if it had advantage. As it swings past you and strikes the column next to you, you watch as the column cracks, and you also see that the column seems to have a bit of this dark material left over as the pseudopod strikes up back into it, like a rope being coiled back into a hand. It seems that it's kind of leaving this black material about it, and it's melting the stone. Kind of like melting the edges of the stone. Alright,
Gross.
that was 14, it'll go to 7.
Fuck. Glintz is going to take the disengage action.
As a monster hunter, I'm going to have you go ahead and make a nature roll, arcana roll, or history roll, your choice. DCs are set to
Is this-
determine.
Is this free?
Oh, a nice guy. You've been talking
17.
We've been talking about oozes a lot. So this is a black pudding. You would know this is a pretty deadly creature. There
There are people flushing down their toilets in this city. Jesus Christ.
right? It is a very acidic creature. If you attack it with non-magical weaponry, it might damage your weaponry. If you touch it, it will definitely do similar to what it's doing to that pillar. So this is going to be a tough fight. You would know that it is immune to acid, cold, lightning, and slashing. It's also immune to a number of conditions, which is typical of oozes: blinded, charmed, deafened, exhaustion, frightened, and prone. It doesn't see by sight, so invisibility and all that's not gonna, he's not gonna give a shit. And yeah, it's
Just to double check, piercing was not on that list.
Piercing's not on the list. You can stab it, pop it, bubble all you want.
Fire is also not on that list, right?
Correct. Slashing, it seems to not give a shit about.
Okay. As Glint takes the disengage action and moves away, he will try to communicate as much of that information to his party members as possible.
Okay.
So, first things first, let's do 5, 10,
And disengage with the action.
15. And then the rest of my movement's going to be going up the wall.
Okay.
So that'd be, I think I have 20 feet of movement remaining.
Alright.
And
the
then-
ceiling's 40 up, as we discussed.
Okay, so, yeah, once he's 20 feet up the wall, he's still got his bow in hand. I'm going to action surge 2
Okay.
attacks against the thing.
And yeah, you would have had to have short rested, so you would have your action surge back. That's fine.
First attack,
Hit.
so 17. I'm gonna go and re-roll that damage. What the fuck? So yeah, 9 damage on the first one. Second one's a 15. 15 to hit.
Yeah.
That is 8 damage. What the fuck? I am rolling like hot fucking garbage.
Malika!
One.
Well, I rolled 2 2s in a row with a reroll.
Alright. So that's 8.
Yes. So, yeah. So, to recap, it's very acidic. If you attack it with non-magical weapons, it's going to damage your weapons. It is immune to lightning, slashing. Can't remember the other ones.
A lot.
Stuff.
A lot.
As you kind of ejected the words out, it may not have stuck with you, and you're obviously heated due to the present situation. So, what you know, you can pass along. Balgar, it comes back around, and you are no longer surprised. It definitely sounds like there's a bit of a kerfuffle happening outside.
Kerfuffles. My goodness. I'm gonna shoot it with my magic music.
Alright.
Sharp note, and I think I can choose.
I did say it is immune to slashing damage.
So we are piercing with the
Oh,
sharp
excellent.
note. I clicked it. I don't know. Maybe it's not going. There it is.
That'll hit. And, piercing or slashing, pass twice. So, 8. Alright.
And I magically inspire Castia.
Okay.
Boom, boom, boom. That's
Orlandis.
it.
Okay. Orlandis is going to use Direct the Strike on Glint again. Has to be a weapon attack, right?
Yeah, both.
Okay. And then he's going to use his bonus action to inspire Lasse. And he's just going to... Well, I don't have to do that. I could move her. Right? Yeah. I can use my bonus action to Knight's Move Lasse to just get the hell out of there. And then movement, he'll just step in her place.
Okay.
So you want me to move away?
Yeah. With your 6 HP, yeah.
You do take an opportunity attack, but the opportunity attack is made with disadvantage. So it will swing.
At disadvantage. Okay.
Oh shit.
Go ahead.
Well, shit. I can't use my protective field on her because I use my reaction to make an attack.
Orlando's good turn. Low say you're up.
Well, here, let me make my short bow attack.
Yeah, please do. That'll hit.
Crit.
Oh,
Let me see. If I throw my psionic energy dice on this, does that also get doubled?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. That's my last one.
Big money,
Oh.
big money, big money.
I'm gonna go ahead and re-roll this damage. Doesn't matter.
So we're looking
So-
at
When I
13,
re-roll it, I get to use whichever one I want. So we're looking at 16, and then for the Psionic Strike, that's going to be 1d8 plus 2 plus another d8. So an extra 13 force.
Okay. 1 second.
And that is my last Psionic damage, you guys.
Okay. Next up is Cassio.
No, let's say didn't go.
Oh, Losei, sorry. Apologies.
Damn.
Wait.
Sorry.
I will. I don't know why I moved away. I moved back in. I'm stabbing this.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry.
No, I thought you were gonna use your bow. That's why.
It's not magical. My blade is.
Oh.
Yeah, by the way, the arrows are all gone. By the
Are
way.
they?
The ones that have been fired into it, Clint. Those are just-
Yeah, I've been ticking them off. I kind of assumed as much.
Yeah.
27.
That will work.
12 piercing.
Okay.
And I'm gonna throw out a second one.
Hold on a second. You have hit it with a melee attack within 5 feet of it, so you take 5 points of acid damage. As it stabs into it, you've been kind of watching it hit the arrows. They kind of explode outwards like an arrow being fired into water.
Mm-hmm.
So as you kind of lance into it, it kind of seems to pop a membrane there and kind of ejects out like a zit being kind of
Gross.
opened up, this kind of
Disgusting.
black fluid.
With our last breath, we unleash another one. 24.
Swing back into it. Another 4 points of acid damage. And
Yeah, we down.
you deal 7 to it. So an interesting fact, as you kind of smash into it and it kind of splashes into you and you're kind of like getting woozy and like heat trails are falling after you as you fall into the water, it kind of starts sinking into itself and kind of convulsing until it just becomes a puddle of black material that's kind of
Thanks.
entering into the ground and kind of becoming more balanced. It's no longer acidic, it just kind of is there. Got
Oh.
shit.
Oh,
Nice burn
okay.
around.
She did it. Hell
Did
yeah.
enough damage to kill it, yeah. But we're gonna stay in initiative because there's a person dying. That was really quick.
I didn't
well
even
done.
get to do my cool stuff. Well, fine
I-
work though.
I was annoyed about how fast it went. Yeah,
I was gonna ask, like about
but
the bonus action spell stuff, but no, I
seems
guess
like
you know.
melee is that's great. Castia, it is your
Sorry.
turn. Lose is down. Do you want to get it out?
I'll get in and make a medicine check to stabilize her.
And the short bow crit was also massive as well. It was a very quick swing of 85 hit points. Well done.
Oh, yeah. Go
That's a
team.
failure. No stabilization. I should have kept.
Jesus Christ.
I already cleared. Astrogoth, do you have a means of healing Lose?
I do not. No.
Balgar?
Yeah.
Then we'll let just that be the case, and I'll
He's just gonna hit his heart. Get the fuck up!
Get up!
get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go.
Thank you.
I can't remember. Mark Rabble. I don't know his name.
Rebel A?
Yeah, that guy. My alarm clock sound is one of his songs.
I know which one because
Yeah.
I think I have the exact same one.
It's a good one. It gets me up, and it's not that bad. Like if it's a good day, if I feel like I'm really energetic in the morning, I let him go through it. If it's not, it's just and I'm like, shut the fuck.
Get the fuck out of bed.
Yep,
Before
exactly.
he even gets to it, I'm like, no, I don't want any. All right. So it kind of corrodes down into the stone a bit, but it doesn't go too deep. Maybe an inch or so of the burn as it kind of melts into itself. And after the puddle completes that process, you would note that the chains are perfectly clean on all of these pillars. So apparently it does move up and down these pillars for whatever purpose. You'd also see kind of laying about in spaces like small bits of bone material that appear to be fish. And those of you who have nature trained would immediately assume that this is kind of a peninsula into the waterways where the fishes are kind of swimming up. And that's how it's sustained itself here.
Did Glint or anyone tell us that you can drink these after a long time?
No, nobody said that about black puddings.
Okay.
There's only one way to find out, Jonah.
Can
Yeah.
I scoop up a little bit of it in a jar?
So
You
as you
have a
try to
jar?
kind of get a material, what you're mostly
Let me try.
getting is kind of this resin material that's not
Okay.
really substantive. It seems to kind of like, as the acid became balanced, it had kind of fused with the stone. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so it has okay. It
Yeah.
has to be a live subject. Got you.
Sure. I believe a group. I don't remember how long ago or when it was, but a group with a lizard folk fought one of these and used the bite action, and
Heartburn.
How did it go?
it was fun. It was a fun session. He, much like Lose here, but not so much as cool as Lose here, did have to be brought back to life at some point during the fight or after the fight. I don't remember.
Okay.
But yeah. That
Okay.
said, treasure chest.
Yes. Glint is going to move forward. He's going to look for traps, and then he's going to check the chest for traps and see if it's locked.
Investigation.
Investigation. Dear God.
Seems fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's great.
I hate when he says that.
I know.
Seems fine.
Chad, I'm so sorry.
Is the chest locked?
You go to test the check and see if it is locked, and it is. If you wish to make a thieves' tools check to see if you can pick it.
Yes.
Okay, make a dexterity saving throw as you hear a click. But
God damn.
also, in addition to that, once the click hits, tell me how you'd like to extract yourself from a possibly bad situation. The click happens immediately when you put the picks into the lock. It's like a click that shouldn't happen.
He'd like to dive directly behind the pillar to try and use it as cover.
Okay. That won't matter here, so go ahead and make your dex, no bonuses or advantage or anything.
21.
You move your hands quickly away from it and kind of try to dive aside, and you watch as 3 needles, kind of like in a kind of triangle pattern, kind of snap together in like a pyramid. Each one of them having like this strange black material on the tips. Once they kind of hit at that point, they all snap back into their position with a audible click. So click, pop, click.
But they didn't get me.
They didn't get you. Gotcha.
Okay.
You made a check. Everything's turning around now. I believe in you.
Yep. I did.
So
I did.
if you take the time to disarm the trap, you come to the realization that it's not terribly hard to do so. It's just a small dial on the outside of the lock that needs to be turned. And you can go ahead and make your... not really necessary. This is a terribly easy one to succeed at. So you take some time with your thieves' tools. You don't break any picks, and you manage to open this one.
Can the trap or like those needles be like extracted?
No.
Okay.
They appear to be fundamentally kind of locked onto the arms that push them out. Like it's one piece.
Yeah. So.
No, One Piece is an anime.
Yeah, with like 1,000 fucking episodes. We discussed that in the prelude. Might actually start talking.
Start or stop?
Start.
Oh.
Don't let Zach watch this episode. Zach Wilbur.
Does he like One Piece?
Maybe. So yeah, go ahead and roll a D100. Zach.
I'm sorry, what am I doing?
Roll
I just came.
D100.
Oh, okay.
You
got this.
You rolled well in the last one. I kind of want to see what you can do here.
Isn't that what I rolled last time?
Is it?
No, you got a 51 last time.
Yeah, it was a 51 last time. Okay.
Right.
So inside of this chest is a wand. The wand appears to be made out of you. It is wrapped with silk.
Made out of
for a
me.
handle.
It's a bugbear one.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
I knew
YEW.
as I was
Yes.
uttering this
Yeah,
material, I was like, all right, here we go.
I don't want no flesh-covered fucking stick.
The wand itself appears to have kind of like a crook to it, like in the middle.
Ooh.
Like it's a very natural looking piece of branch material that hasn't been shaped or worked or anything. This is a very primal thing that you're kind of looking at, this artifice. It looks like it has very minor carvings into it that show like kind of elvish runing, kind of marks on the sides, but not much has been done to distort the just natural power of the stick itself. And a quick identify will determine that it is a wand of magic missiles.
Beep, beep.
Much like the other one, Glint is going to check it for a false bottom.
Oh.
Okay. Then he hands the wand off to Balgar for identification.
Yeah, and that's handled. Wand of magic missiles. Wand of magic missiles can be used by any spellcaster. It requires attunement and allows you to cast magic missiles
Do
sometimes.
you have to be a spellcaster?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Does knowing mage count as being a spellcaster?
Nope.
Okay.
I am.
The determination for a spellcaster is one or more levels in a class that has the spellcasting class feature.
Okay. All right. I propose a battle of the bards.
Well, I've already got range doot.
Yeah. Now, I will say, and I mean no insult here, Zach, there is a level of accuracy that we obviously have seen throughout the era of the Duty Dudes.
Fucking toxic.
I don't.
Well, that's why I'm going for the machine gun doot. Not as powerful, but multiple at once.
Fair. Very American of you. I will say. Put as much in the air and
By volume.
hope it hits, you know. That's fair. But I will say Balgar also has a very sufficient dude. It's one pretty solid, accurate dude.
It's not a dupe. It's a.
Yes. So then that leaves Castia and Castia.
I mean, I guess I have Moonbeam, and then I have Sacred Flame. I don't necessarily have
Other things.
anything that's like a direct
Okay.
hit. So I
Valid.
guess for now, maybe I could make use of it.
Okay. Yeah, you should be able to find that in the compendium.
Yep.
It has full charges, which I think is 7 for the wand of magic missiles.
Nice.
Assuming nobody else, none of the duders have any.
Sounds like the dude. Or yeah, do you want to fight for it, Joe? I kind of talked for you. I didn't mean to do that. You're
Nope, I'm good.
Yeah, sharp note is pretty strong.
Can I call you duders? Is that okay? Is that a pejorative? I don't know.
They prefer bard,
Okay, all right. Sorry.
classically.
Okay.
Sure thing, meat tank.
That's not me.
Oh no, that's me. It's 100% me. I'm okay with that. Okay with that. I will also answer to Meat Shield.
Mhm.
Bag of Defense.
Mhm.
That's pretty much it. So in order to get to possible Sepulchre's Barrow, we would have to go this way, right?
East,
Yeah.
yeah.
Eastly is.
And then
the
this is the only way that is open
Yeah, and
currently.
you would know that wraps right around to where you killed the crawler.
Okay.
So it's in the only point of egress.
We would have to go back south.
Yeah, south, either on the trap side or on the not trap side. There are also 2 points of exit to get to the surface. There's the one at the mouth of the gelatinous cube room, and then there's the one that you kind of saw the alcove but didn't actually go up and check near the bars to the south.
It would not be safe to long rest here, right?
You don't know that for certain.
Okay. Shit.
I think if we could deal with the gelatinous cube, that room would be a great place to take a long rest.
Very simple. You're a new Slayer, you said. But, you know, I believe in you.
I've always had.
Okay.
For at least the past 30 seconds.
My entire life that I've known you.
I mean, that sounds about how long Cassius
I
got
personally
memories of.
think that we should go with Glint's idea. Clear out the clean room, and then try to long rest in there.
And then we also have the melting corpse.
Yes.
That is
Okay.
another thing we haven't explored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it can't fit through that little hallway, then, yeah.
The melted corpse room. It feels like a trap.
Everything is a
Feels
trap
like
here,
a trap.
Jonah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
Okay,
true.
so considering that Cassia has told me about that there's a gelatinous cube in there, what does Glint know about those?
I mean, based on the interaction that you've had with this one, it's probably going to move around the room when it's kind of down and eat the lichen on the ceiling. It's probably not a great place to rest. And even if you kill it, it probably wouldn't be a great place to rest because once you kill it, the acid everywhere. So it's gonna smell and it's gonna be not. It's gonna be like, when you clean your house with like cleaning supplies and like you like are in a room that doesn't have any windows open and you have to open those windows. There's no airflow. That's literally what's gonna happen in that space.
Oh,
That's
okay.
I mean, there's other areas around here that I think would be good places to take a long rest. I'm gonna move around real quick to a previous area we've been to so I can see it.
Fair. Yeah, basically every space in this place you've been to and you can move around to freely. That's fine.
We could
And
we could also check that melting room.
The cube's position is known, so you're not going to walk into it. But it's not moving around yet. You'll know when it does. But
Because you'll be dead.
yeah, well, maybe. But I was going to say, it's not technically canon, but the way I imagine a gelatinous cube being is like it is a gelatinous hunk of like Mr. Clean, like
It is
cleaning
a hunk.
solution,
You're right.
and like it's
It's a hunk. It's a hunk.
Like
It's Mr. Clean.
like
So
a
is it more like
gelatinous bleach cube.
yeah, that's a fair way of thinking of it. Very aesthetic.
A Clorox
like-
cube.
A
more like
Clorox.
bleach?
It's just gonna melt you.
Copyright. Clorox,
What?
you motherfuckers. Don't try and release a product that's called that and sell it.
Okay, so
Rock slime.
let's see.
What would happen if you used Awaken on a slime?
I don't know. Read the spell Awakened.
Okay.
This,
Why don't you go try it?
Yeah.
I don't have it.
I mean, one of these well rooms could also be a decent place to try and take a long rest.
Just don't roll around.
But either way, if we want to secure this area, we are going to need to kill that gelatinous cube.
Oh no, it's a beast or plant. It can't be a gelatinous cube. Damn.
You want to have a
That's so
gelatinous cube
specific.
best friend and conversation partner?
It has to be a beast or plant.
And cubes are.
They're monstrosities. Or oozes.
Wow, that's rude.
Sorry, my bad. Oozes.
What if we camp inside the carrion crawler? It's probably very warm in there.
And I thought they smelled bad. No, they don't smell bad. They just
I
Could
mean,
we
long rest here, but this place is very exposed.
could we check the room with the melting man? The
Sure,
half of the melting man.
sure. I mean, there's probably another one of those things in there, but we killed this one so fast. What's...
Okay, if you insist on
It's another.
exploring another area, I'm going to insist we take a short rest.
No, it is the one room.
Yeah, it's
Right.
an area we already skipped over.
But did we do like a thorough investigation of it?
That's your job, man.
One
Yeah.
room.
No.
That's
That is-
true.
I wish to bring you in there.
Okay.
That's why
Before I
wish to
go
bring
any
you in.
further, I'd like to take a short rest. I think other certain individuals in our group could probably benefit from the same thing.
Yeah, we could rest for a bit.
Okay, so as you're kind of maneuvering about, and if you do kind of like during the short rest or after it, kind of look for a place and kind of stop in and around the well at any point, either during or after your short rest, you would note that it does seem that there's a bit of like morning light kind of coming through the hole in the ceiling where the water's splaying down.
Yeah. It's been a while. Okay.
We've been here for weeks, man. And as per tradition, we haven't taken a nap.
About an entire evening, more or less. So you kind of came in like mid-afternoon, moved around and such, took a rest, took a long rest, took another rest, took another rest, and then taking a third rest now. Short
Yeah,
rest.
and,
Unfortunately, a short rest does absolutely nothing for me.
Same.
Same.
Down to like 2
I mean, you can-
spells.
You can spend hit dice. That's the.
No.
Yeah, you have hit dice
Bogard's
left?
never taken
I have
much
plenty.
damage.
I don't know.
What'd you say, John?
You haven't taken much damage, have you?
No, I haven't taken much damage, but I have used a lot of spells.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those need quite a long rest for sure.
We're gonna check the melty room. The melting man. The
Okay.
melty man.
So if you head back over to it, as I described, it's a very strange, arcane-looking throne with a man with no legs, whose skin and muscles have melted, and his eye
After
sockets look like melted marshmallows that have just kind of like sat inside the sockets of his eyes.
Nice.
Right.
Delicious.
Immediately after finishing this short rest, I'm going to immediately use Psionic Recovery to get a Psionic Energy dice back.
Oh yeah.
Okay, creepy throne.
Oh wait, I have 1 hit die left.
Did I miss somebody?
I'm already in the room.
Okay.
How bad is Lose looking right now?
I got 18 hit points. I'm Gucci. It's 18 out of 36. I'm fine.
I mean, you're exactly bloodied. I have another healing potion if you'd like it.
What's a healing potion?
We'll be fine. We'll just lose Orlandis. It's fine.
Yeah,
2d4 plus.
Orlandis, coming back in here with a torch. Due to the fact that you've taken a short rest, you would have exhausted 1 torch. So you should mark that
Yeah.
off, and you have one less of however many torches you have. But
yeah, I got 7 left now.
Okay. As we discussed, you would definitely have issue with moving forward as the torch is your source of light, because you know that it's
No.
valuable.
Castia would be like, "Hey, here's some light."
Yeah,
I'm
You
not-
can have light on your shield again until I give it something else and leave you in the dark.
Yeah.
That'll happen at the end of the short rest. That's easier to kind of,
Oh no, I have
That's
8
a-
torches. Sorry.
That's fine. You've used exhausted 2.
Yes.
So now without the burden of possibly igniting everything aflame, what would you like to do?
He's gonna tell Glint everything that he's found so far. The diadem, the fact that it is in fact flammable, and there's only half a body there.
You said there were chains on these pillars?
Yes, these 2 pillars have chains on them.
Glint's going to look at the ceiling.
Nothing crazy.
Okay. It's going to do a quick look around the room for traps.
That makes sense. There are none.
Okay.
Except for the whole room.
Right.
He's in the walls. He's in the goddamn walls.
So does this corpse look like it's held together, or does it look like it's just sort of
The
resting?
skeleton matter is kind of seated on its pelvic bone and like remnants of the upper leg bones. So it's kind of seated nicely against the back, the back of the chair. It's material. It's not like it's slush. It's kind of like a state of almost oozification of the meat and material. So that kind of creates like a sticky bond that kind of sets it neatly on the chair it's seated on. And then it's kind of melted down from the brow, so you can see a little bit of the like skull cap. And kind of seated on the skull, kind of pushed down on it, is a diadem, just like a very fancy crown.
I'm going to ask everybody to basically vacate the room.
Oh, yeah.
Hell
No
yeah.
problem. You got it.
Fine. Okay.
the best kind of like visual analogy I can give you for the diadem is it's very much like a royal crown of like a princess in like England, if you've seen any of those. It's very ornate. Looks like it's made mostly out of silver and platinum, and settled in its direct middle piece is a very bright blue, kind of sky blue sapphire.
Okay. Orlandus, I would like to be exactly where you are.
Oh, okay.
Any crazy shit going on over here? I
You
don't
want to head that
remember
way
even.
again?
I'm just kind of I'm backing away and just kind of looking and listening down this way because we didn't ever explore it.
Yeah, so strangely, the water seems to kind of like ebb and flow from the larger chamber. The churn inside of the meat toilet kind of causes a bit of overflow, and that comes into the space. So the water level in the space kind of rises, and then as it kind of doesn't have anywhere to go, it kind of flows back into the spiral, and
The unending
so forth.
spiral of the meat toilet.
The unending spiral of the meat toilet. Correct. It doesn't. It doesn't fill. Is the main point.
I gotcha.
Glint is going to attempt to mage hand the head of this thing.
Okay. You mage hand the head of the thing, and as you kind of try and move it, it doesn't break away, it doesn't snap off. You have a kind of grasp on the head, and you're kind of trying to force it, and it seems to be kind of decently lodged to the chair by the meat glue.
Okay. Then he's going to attempt to mage hand the diadem.
Okay. Try and maneuvering it. It seems to be very securely wedged onto the skull, and it will require more than 10 pounds of force to kind of lift it off. It's going to need to be pried off.
Okay.
It's that over time, it's kind of seeded into the skull and kind
Stop! We get it.
of. Okay.
And fuck. So gross.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm not actually triggered or anything. It's just gross as hell.
For sure.
I'm just
Okay.
imagining a
So
melted
Glint is
skull.
going to
That
tie. He's going to tie a sort of like loose, like a small like slip knot on the end of his rope.
Mhm.
Then he's going to mage hand that onto the diadem.
Okay. So again, it's not going to pull it. You're not able to kind of get
No,
a pry.
I'm secure. I'm using mage hand to make sure the loop gets on there,
Right.
and then I'm going to pull it tight, and then I'm going to pull it off.
We have a misconception about the diadem. It's not going to kind of connect and then lift up like easy. If you have
No,
a
that's
rope around
fine.
it, you're going to kind of pull at it, or you're going to pull up on it. And yeah, like it's not going to stay seated. The rope's not going to neatly kind of bind to the diadem. It's going to whoop right off of it.
No, I think he's going for the skull.
I mean, yeah, I guess I'll actually try to loop it around the neck of the guy,
It seems to
and
have.
then I'll pull it tight.
It has a decent tissue-y. I don't want to keep explaining because Joe don't leggy, but it's not like a segmented skeleton like it's gonna fall to bones.
It's like putting a
No,
lasso
I
around
know,
a canned
I know.
ham.
No, you should have just stopped. It's like pudding. That's what it's like. It's like a kind of. It's like a very firm like material.
But if I gotta pull like the whole torso off the throne,
Yeah, it seems to be glued to it by the material that's leaked onto the chair.
okay. So now my rope is secured. So I'm gonna have to
Keep
like
heaving
this
and
was my
hoeing.
last resort option.
We're gonna play tug of war with
You keep
a
heaving and
gelatinous
hoeing.
person.
What's your strength score?
14.
You are unable to move the thing off of the damn chair.
What if I help him?
You can certainly grab a rope and keep heaving, hoeing, trying to rip it from the chair. What's your strength score?
16.
Okay. Like a sickening,
Yeah, let's get.
splintering sound, you hear flesh tearing,
Huh?
muscle snapping,
Mhm.
and you
Jesus
watch as the bones of the thing flare out off of the chair, and you watch as a mass of what appears to be kind of like not quite fully like scabified blood. It's kind of
Jesus
like
Christ.
sick state between like solid and liquid with like
So
chunks of
corpse
solid.
wax.
Yeah, exactly. It's very much adipocere, just splashing out to the sides.
Do we get the body off?
Yeah, it
You got-
slams onto the ground for sure. It doesn't break apart like you're expecting. It very much seems to have like a solidness to it.
No. We just wanted the body off the chair,
Body's
and then
off
we're
the
gonna
chair.
take the diadem off of the face.
Okay, so Orlandis, if you're the one doing it,
Sure.
you
Why
manage to
not?
grab a hold of it with your strength of higher than 15 or 15 or higher,
Okay.
rent it from the skull, and it kind of creates this nails on chalkboard, but also like drilling at a dentist office bone scratching sound
Okay.
as you pull it free. You have the diadem in hand. You can see the tears on the skull, and
Oh,
again, there's just a nasty bit of material that has a smell of copper and like throw up that just like fills the room.
And then you take 2d6 psychic damage from the sound.
You take 2d6 psychic damage every 10 minutes you play an Oogie Bray game.
I'm down. No, I'm kidding.
Because I genuinely try to explain gore in a very detailed fashion so people try to avoid it.
Okay.
Because in real life, it's not great. It's not cool.
Yeah, but I
Truly,
knew
it
Jonah
really
wasn't
isn't.
gonna leave me alone until I got that thing. So
Yeah, you have the diadem.
Nice.
And like I said, it's kind of like a mix of silver and platinum with a number of different kind of white gemstones on it.
Neat.
Not quite diamonds, probably zirconians or something slightly nicer. But
I'm gonna add it to my thingy. I'm gonna name it the Bloodied Diadem. Just to give it that emphasis. Okay. Okay. Now, is there anything like? Do we get any sort of information about why this person was melted to this chair? Like from the chair being freed of his
so
corpse.
that's a great question, but it is a very open-ended question. So
Okay.
for me to kind of move into answering that question, what I would need from you is kind of like a trail of thought that kind of leads to what you might think it might be, or an idea of kind of what might cause this, because then we can kind of follow a path to a skill. But at current,
Okay.
like
It's too open-ended. I got you.
Glint suspects it had something to do with abuse.
I don't
Glint
know.
suspects that what likely happened is because this obviously isn't a throne room, even though that is a throne. So what
Mhm.
probably happened was, for whatever reason, somebody came and deposited this body on this throne, and then along comes an ooze that says, "Hey, free food."
that's an assumption you can make. Yeah,
Yeah, that is the assumption I'm making.
it's definitely one you can't. Yeah, I'm not saying that you cannot. Okay.
No, that was mostly directed at Jonah. Like
No,
that's
I know. I'm just
Glint.
trying to be vague because I don't want you to think
Right.
that I'm
yeah, I understand. Like I'm not looking
Alright.
for any sort of confirmation from the DM.
good.
That's good enough. That's good enough.
Okay.
We could go.
Other than the diadem, was there anything of interest on the body?
Do you want to search it?
Um,
Do you want-
Yeah, put your
No,
hands in
just-
there.
just a quick
Yeah,
visual
start.
inspection.
like
Whatever's left.
if it was wearing anything, it's effused to the flesh. Like
Yeah.
if it was
Ocular pat
wearing
down.
anything like rings or jewels, the flesh is roiled over the top of that, so you kind of have to peel back the.
No, Glint.
Okay, I just
Can I
wanna
use it
make
as a
sure-
not that
puppet?
interested.
Could you use it as a
Can I
puppet?
use it as a puppet?
Yeah. Can I ventriloquist my doot?
I could say that there's a couple ways I think you might be able to pull it off. Like if you're just hitting it with notes, you'll basically be blasting it apart eventually. But you can certainly make it move with Eldritch Blast. But there are definitely means that are well within your power for you to utilize this bit of flesh.
Y'all need Atavius.
Are we the baddies?
So after
Certainly not right.
if you want to shoot at it with dudes to kind of make it maneuver about, absolutely an option.
No.
Okay.
I just thought of it when he was saying that he was putting his hand in. I was like, hey, I'm a bard. I have
Oh,
I have perform.
yeah. It doesn't have legs, so like if you wanted to shove your hand up it, you certainly could.
Nah, it's alright.
Okay.
So about this hallway going south around the
Yeah,
corner
I am
here.
going to
Yeah.
take the time to, in detail, describe what it would feel like. Okay, so moving on. So, Orlandis, you see another kind of wall that looks like it's kind of melted away. And it looks like it leads into kind of an alcove. Looking around the walls here, to the south and to the north there, kind of around this space, you can see that there's a lot of scoring. And you saw kind of remnants or familiar kind of type scratches, just not to the level that these scratches are. When the carrion crawler kind of moved across the wall, it kind of moved down the ceiling. It kind of left these small little barbed marks because it's kind of running on these small little, like, bladed feet.
Yeah.
So it definitely looks like this is where it was hanging out.
Okay.
This back corner here.
And then in this little room alcove, can I just peek my head in
Yeah.
to see what's in there? I don't want to go all the way in just yet. I just want to peek.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
That's,
You see a
that's
mass of coins laying in kind of a pile around a treasure chest.
Okay.
Another one.
It's not that's sus. Are there any pebbles nearby
Yeah.
on the floor?
There's loose
Okay.
stone.
Can I just toss a loose stone at the chest and coinage to see what happens?
Sure.
Okay.
Do you do that?
I do it.
Okay.
This will be the one, guys. This
Oh,
will
yeah.
be the one that grows teeth and a tongue.
It certainly could be. So you hear as it hits kind of a kind of rumbling sound inside
And
of this room.
That's
As
good.
that rumbling sound starts to hit, what is your response? What are you doing? as you kind of
Just
hear that?
gonna just back the fuck up and then just go right here.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Since it's just me, I get to add the bonus of my shield because of Shield Master.
Absolutely.
That is a 9.
Cool. So the ceiling actually falls in at
Oh.
that space and starts smashing down in that space.
Okay.
The amount of damage that hits you is not a lot because you were moving in a momentum that way, and you also don't get pinned under the larger rocks because you were maneuvering away. So you take
Fuck
a
yeah.
total of 8 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And you kind of get away free. Had you not started hoofing it that way, you feel like if you kind of moved in or stayed there, you would have been crushed.
Okay, cool. Just let me make sure. Okay, no. Only if I succeed, I can take no damage. Okay.
For everyone else watching, it kind of comes down. Orlandis is kind of tucked away, kind of moving away with his shield up, and it just keeps coming down, and it very quickly fills in the doorway. But you can still hear an amount of rock still tumbling in, and then it slows, and it's not as loud, and then quiet.
Okay. And this passageway is completely shut off now, right?
The door filled in with stone, and presumably
Okay.
the entire room as well.
Damn.
What did you do?
There was a chest and gold in there.
But what did? How?
I threw a pebble at the chest.
At least you weren't in there.
This is true.
You
Um,
unmade a door.
I
Balgar
did.
makes doors. You unmake them. What?
This has been my life for quite a while now. Let us continue. Or we can rest here. This seems
Hold on, I have to address something in the chat. So,
fish.
Zach, I do want to answer that what you just said regarding Call of Cthulhu. Delta Green, I'm not familiar with, so I should look into that. But Call of Cthulhu, I don't think, even though I do describe a lot of the horror of it, I don't think I could do an old one justice. I explained this to Andy, who runs Call of Cthulhu for some of the people here in the community, and I having read Lovecraft, I don't think I could do an old one justice. Like,
I hear you.
It's so hard.
Delta Green is essentially U.S. government versus Lovecraft. Like Delta Green is the government branch of dealing with Lovecraftian threats.
Nice.
I'll look into it. I mean, again, if it's very, very Lovecraftian, like if it's direct Lovecraft, I may not do it just because, again, yeah, like the way he describes the creatures in the books is very poignant.
Isn't
I
it?
don't think I could do it justice.
You can
Isn't
do
it-
like SPCs.
Aren't they
SPCs.
euphoric in a way?
Yeah.
It depends.
SCP.
SCP, yeah.
Secure, contain, protect.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the shit. I love that.
One.
But
Yeah,
isn't
that website's a huge time sink.
Oh my god,
Truly.
I love that website.
I
guess
watch
I'm gonna
YouTube
have to waste
videos.
some time on that. Sewer of
Hell
Annihilation. Get you. Okay. Anyways, done reading the chat. But yeah, it seems that that space is shut off to you. If you want to take a second here and pass the diadem over to Balgar to identify it.
Oh, I didn't think it was magical, but yeah, no, I'll pass it. I'll pass it to Balgar so you can see what it is.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
take
I'll
the
just
time
put
to
it
kind
in,
of look at it, if you're trained in Arcana, you would know that it does appear to have magical notations, also in the Elvish markings.
Oh,
And
Why are the elves spending so much time in a sewer?
the
good
item
question.
in question is a unique magic item. I'll get the card out here in a bit. It is known as the Diadem of the Dead King. It requires attunement while worn. The creature has tremor sense, 30 feet. Additionally, the creature can use its action to have true sight of the same value for the turn.
What else though?
That's it.
No, there's definitely more with the name Diadem
If you
of the
if you
Dead
wear
King.
it for a full hour, your skin turns to ooze and you start melting off of your bones. That's
Sounds like an acid peel to me. People pay top dollar for
Speaking
that.
of acid peels, I mean, this whole fucking dungeon with the uses in it.
I'm just gonna put it
Alright.
away for now. In my backpack. But I will rename it.
Balgar, since you're the one who identified it, can you go ahead and give me a history check or an arcana check, your choice?
You said Diadem of the Dead King?
Diadem of the Dead King, yeah.
Okay.
Could I help him with that check?
It's mostly focused on.
Well, I mean, Glint is kind of
I'm actually-
scholarly, and he's proficient in both those skills.
I will yield to Joe. I'm not going to say whether or not. I mean, it's possible for him to receive help. If he wants to ask the party about it, he can.
you said BRB a while ago. He may
Oh.
still be.
Well, then he may not have even identified it. We'll deal with that later. What do you want to do in the meantime?
Can we try to secure the spot to take a long rest?
Yeah, it looks pretty secure.
As long as you don't throw any more rocks.
No rocks. Is everyone cool with taking a long rest here?
I sure am.
Absolutely.
We take a long rest, DM.
Okay.
Um,
So the problem with that is that you just did a long rest in not too long ago. So you gotta
Did we?
wait. You gotta wait.
Oh shit. We did, didn't
you
we?
certainly can sit around here for a long, long time and then take a rest once you're tired. But yeah, you did just do a long rest not that long ago. You can't just, daisy chain your long rests one
Okay.
after the other.
No, I
Wait,
thought
when did you do a
it's
long
been a
rest?
while.
Yeah, you took one in the sewers. We discussed that. You
Sorry.
said you were the one who was vouching for me when I said you had
My
taken a
bad.
long rest down here.
I forgot.
When did we take a long
It
rest?
was back when you leveled.
I think it was
The reason
after
why-
the ropers.
Yeah, the reason why you are leveled is
yeah,
because
okay.
you rested.
That's fair.
I thought
Okay.
we leveled when we were in the town still.
No. You leveled down.
Okay.
Some of you leveled
So
down.
then, yeah, no, screw it. We're gonna keep going then.
Okay, so Joe, asking you a question here. You are asked to identify the diadem. Do you identify it?
Yeah.
Okay, it's called the Diadem of the Dead King. While you wear this item and are attuned to it, you have tremor sense 30 feet. As an action, you can gain true sight for the same distance, 30 feet. And I asked you while you weren't there, and I didn't know you weren't there because I'm a dum-dum, if you would like to make a history check regarding the terminology, the Dead King. And then Chad had asked, in an out-of-character sense, if he could help. And the way I want to do it for you is if you want to make that check on your own, you would be the only one kind of focusing on that knowledge and the name of it. Or you can pass that name along to the party and ask for help from the Monster Hunter.
Well, I'd have to roll their history check to get a name first, right? Because all I have is the
No.
Big
The
Dead King.
name of the item is Diadem of the Dead King.
Diadem of the Dead
When
King.
you identify it, it tells you what its name is. What I'm asking you is once you
Yeah,
learn
I
the
don't
name-
mind.
Okay, so you explain it to Glint, and then Glint will help you make a history check on the Dead King. Yeah, so the Dead King is definitely something that you would know. There is an entity known as Raynek, the Dead King, who is a great old one, who happens to be a ancient dead beholder that flies across the stars.
Oh, shit.
It's, yeah. Known as the Watcher from Beyond as well. And I will just post a link to the wiki page regarding it here in a moment.
Is
Listen, I don't want to get mixed into this shit again.
this item's name Seymour by any chance?
Oh shit!
Guys, I don't want to get mixed into this again. Why do I keep doing this to myself, you guys?
What does that mean?
Why?
What are you doing?
Ask that question almost every session.
So I'll explain, Joe, what they're talking about. In the Friday game before, these individuals had a player character who was played by Josie, who was a warlock whose patron was Raynak. And there were some crazinesses that happened with her and her circlet intellect because she was trying to fake that she was a wizard, and then she kind of got fused to it.
There were some eyes got ripped back out. It was a whole thing.
It was a very hot mess.
And the best way to describe the look of the diadem as you're looking at now, the sapphire would be the centerpiece, and if you look at the symbol for Raynak, looking down at it, the gemstones are the teeth, and there's kind of gemstones all throughout that are, kind of placed there. But you can very clearly see like the top half of the Raynak symbol in the crown.
I mean, considering some of the shit we run into in this dungeon, having blind sight and tremor sense would be very cool. Glint is something of an occultist.
Something of a scientist yourself?
No, definitely not a scientist. Definitely,
Well, you're the one that seems to be the closest to these threats when they happen, so I am totally fine with you getting that 30-foot
I mean, he
aura
definitely
of
doesn't want to
seeing
be.
things about to drop on you.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't want to be assaulted by a bunch of Gloomstalkers again. That was a very
You've been
rough
through it.
experience.
That's my vote.
I think it's really good on Glint.
I'm cool to give it to Glint too.
I also don't want the probably cursed item that melted somebody. Yeah, give it to Glint.
Wait.
No.
Yeah,
Sorry, I was just doing
I
the
put it on my head
Probably-
first.
It has occurred to me that it might
To
be
make sure
cursed
it's
because
safe
there
for my
definitely
friend.
is more to it.
A quick
Yeah.
note, a quick note, because the identifies on a person who hasn't played in the game since I've kind of locked in the means of kind of establishing how items work. Identify tells you kind of surface level what the item does magically. It's kind of like a understanding of the base mechanics of the magic. There's another spell known as Legend Lore, which for objects tells you about the history of that object. Now, for items that may be more powerful than your standard fare magic items, or might have other features, there are curses, which everyone is familiar with, but there are also blessings in my campaign, which are the exact opposite of curse, but they function the same. So like a curse is bad and will do bad. A blessing will do good for you, but is also irremovable. It's like locked in while you have the item. That being said, with your current skill set, you would be aware that identifying whether or not this is cursed is impossible.
I know one way to identify that. Put it on, Glint.
The Jonah way.
We give it to Glint.
50-50.
Can't be cursed if you're dead.
God damn it, Tom.
Why are you booing me? I'm right.
I've seen what you all find hilarious.
It's the torment of your friends.
I mean, logically speaking, it looks like that fella there in the chair. Well, the was in the chair got ran into that ooze back in the other room. I don't see
Oh.
any reason why this crown would melt your head,
Bulgar,
or your
as you
face, or all.
kind of think about it, there might be some interaction between the chair and the crown. Obviously, not a good one if it leads to what happened to that
Oh
guy.
yeah, dude, put the crown on and sit down on the chair,
But there
bro.
might be an
Negative.
Hey, take a short rest
I've
with the crown on in the
never
chair.
seen
It's nice and
this-
cozy.
I've never seen something like this go poorly before. I think
It's
a
kind of
good
soft
idea.
and squishy over there. It's got to be super comfy.
I will say that though, seems to be something to tie it with the tie it into the throne.
Man, where is a paladin with divine sense when you need him?
Not
Well,
in
if
this
you-
campaign.
I mean, if you put it on, you'll know if there are things within there.
To answer your question, Chad, I believe on Jonah's note, melted to a metal dragon.
Fuck yeah.
Instead of a chair.
Spending his time in the fucking 9 hells.
Oh, there's more of those here, but yeah.
I'll be honest, as a player, like, I understand it could be cursed and it could possibly kill me, but I'm
Do it.
also hoping it kind of opens up some cool, like,
Do it.
story potential.
Do it.
So, do you attune to the crown during the course of a short rest? Or during your long rest, rather? Well, you're not taking a long rest.
We're not taking long
We're
rest,
not
yeah.
taking a long rest.
We're continuing on until we feel absolutely necessary to take a long
But if
rest.
you want to spend
Okay,
another
in that
hour
case,
attuning,
if you don't mind, Glint would like to hold on to it, and
Yeah.
between now and us taking another long rest, he's gonna think about it.
Put it on.
okay,
Just put it on
fine.
now.
You just
Don't
gotta-
attune to it. Just wear it.
take the diadem, put it into your bag, and continue on. Fair?
Yeah, basically when we take a long rest, then he'll choose to attune to it.
Okay.
Alright, cool.
I guess we're going down the eastern path up where we fought the black pudding then?
Well, no. So that leads back around to where you were at. The 3 exits that are not the way you came in. The 2 holes in the ground, the wells that lead deep into the water, or the southward paths, following the water
Wasn't
where it comes from.
sorry. I thought there was a spot up this direction. Like
No, there was a treasure chest up that way. They got that. Yeah, that pass on the right side that went up.
yeah.
We also
Sorry,
didn't
Jeff.
check the
Okay.
trapped ford. Or the trapped walkway. Down south.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
okay.
You
I
didn't
see.
check that. Okay,
Okay.
okay.
And it didn't seem like it was as trapped on this side that I'm on
That's
now.
a fair assessment. It is not as trapped as.
It did not seem as trapped, more specifically.
Okay, so
Come on, Orlandus, it's your turn to lead.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Let's go
sure.
south.
With his spear, he's going to, seeing as, there are grates that come out of the ground and then go up, he's going to poke 10 feet ahead of him, or, 5 or 10 feet ahead of him.
you cautiously
What?
move down the path.
Yes,
So-
thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and explain that we're moving kind of to a bit more of a theater of the mind positioning here as we continue
Okay.
forward. No maps or anything present for this next discourse. So as you make your way through this passage, it's long, and it seems to kind of bend off to your left. For those who are curious, the dwarf would be able to denote that this means that you're heading towards what you would hope to be heading towards. You're heading in a eastern fashion. As you're continuing on, there are no signs of traps. The stonework becomes a bit more bare bones, not as eccentric as the passageway before. Instead of having the kind of rounded aqueduct nature, it's very much just a kind of straight, square-shaped column with the water flowing through it, and then to a point where it actually becomes unworked stone that the water is flowing through, which you think is probably where the earthy taste of the water came from. This more natural cave you enter into opens up very widely, and bright lights, due to it being closer to, mid-morning at this point, seem to beam down through breaks in the ceiling, this natural cave directly above you. You can see above the signs of vegetation, some roots kind of edging their way through the stone, kind of making their way down into this space, kind of hanging aloft from the ceiling you're looking at, and a large amount of water descends in the middle of all of this, directly into a bowl-like chasm that continues right past you the way you came. At this point, you see that there is exactly one, besides the ceiling hole and the way you came in, point of exit. A pipe that goes east. No water in the pipe whatsoever, dry as a bone, with staining on its bottom that denotes that this must have been used at some point for the traffic of water.
Okay. Okay. And it's just dry as a bone now.
Correct.
Alright. Yeah, Orlando's will take the lead and go through the pipe.
Okay. Anybody else in this very large open area with the waterfall spilling in? Any questions or anything that you want to do in this space?
You said light was coming in, so we can generally see
Yeah.
in there. So
Yeah.
there's not anything that my
Nothing
super
crazy.
long vision's going to see anything.
Big
Okay.
waterfall, crags, rocks, kind of broken up ceiling, kind of descending down to a large bowl. The waterfall is very heavy, kind of spilling into this space. Looking at the large bowl, you can't tell quite how deep it is. The light spilling through due to the churning of earth and also the movement of earth above doesn't really allow for much light to pass through, nor the sight of dark vision.
Yeah.
Just like big bowl, kind of maybe 30 or so feet, maybe 40 or so feet to the left. To the left or the east is the pipe, and it just kind of comes out of the wall, and it kind of looks like there's some stone that's kind of in front of it, like some work has been done at some point in the past to kind of block it.
Is it above? So like it might be something
No.
that had drained into here, or like what's?
It looks like something that might have had water flow into it, but it looks like a lot
Okay.
of stone has been kind of placed at its mouth to block it.
Does it look like there was a pipe or something that went across this chasm to connect to the sewer system before, or it's just
Nope.
something that spilled out into this natural
Yeah, it looks like
kind
the
of
water,
cavern?
this kind of
Okay.
this area where water is kind of pooling. It looks like at a past point, it must have been the case that this pipe was actually allowed to, and the bowl actually was allowed to
Yeah.
fill up higher, and the water was
Okay.
allowed to move out.
Okay.
Okay, so Cassia is very much kind of curiously looking around at the architecture. It sounded like Orlandis, you're moving right into the pipe.
Yep.
Okay, Astragoth, seeing a set.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna follow along. I don't really.
Okay, no problem. Lose, same.
Yeah.
Balgar, anything in the room that I've mentioned that you're interested in focusing in on?
Nah, we'll just continue.
And last but not least, Clint, is there anything in the space that I've described that you'd like to focus in on?
No.
Okay, so you all move into the pipe, continue your passage through.
Right. Yeah. Glint would like to basically be right behind Balgar. Not Balgar, Orlandis.
Absolutely. So the pipe is not wide enough for you to kind of stand abreast of one another, so it is very much a single file line. However, I will let you know that there is really not much in this space besides a very tedious and long walk down a pipe. And Balgar would notice it the most poignantly due to his stone cutting. It very much feels that you're kind of descending at a very, very low angle, like, in the single digits, because this used to be a path that water flowed down. You can see the remnants of where water has moved through this pipe. You can also hear your movements in the pipe at some points as you're kind of moving from what appears to be stonework and stone piping to more of a metal kind of brass piping. It seems it's a mix of connections and artifice to make this waterway. It comes to a point where you can see that there is a split. To the left, it seems the split kind of heads a bit more sharply down, and to the right, it seems to kind of continue at a not so sharp down, but kind of a bit more southerly.
Hmm. I guess the southerly not so down pipe sounds good ish.
Is that a leadership call? Or are you asking for opinions?
I mean I need some opinions. I don't know which way to
I'm
go.
sorry, is there like a split?
Yeah, so it's a fork, and then
Okay.
the northernmost path, so the path at your left, would descend down at a sharper angle, probably in the 15s, right? Um, and it looks like it kind of moves to a bit more northernly a direction. And then the one to the south looks like it kind of goes southwise, but maintains the same kind of gradation of the path you've been on so far.
I would think that one.
I mean,
'Cause-
southeast is generally the direction we were trying to head.
Yeah.
So now we've been going east a bit. So I imagine
Yeah.
south is probably the way we want to keep heading.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
Okay. So as you make your way onwards and downwards, you come to a point where the dwarf realizes that you're a bit underground. You started at about an elevation of 50 feet below ground, as we discussed with the manhole covers. But with the slow tapering down, you come to a point where it's more or less under the ground, about 100 feet. And a couple of hours have passed. A better part of 4 hours have passed for the entire walk to the waterfall, to the point. And you would know that Enbarrow is not like an immediate walk down the way. It's like an hour walk, as we discussed. So you're kind of, if you're making it right and you know where you're at, you're definitely going about it the long way with kind of like a sharp right angle. That said, the piping begins to show more signs of breakage. Yes, you are. The piping seems to show more signs of breakage, and seems to have more stonework kind of entering into it, but more notably, more roots coming into it. The roots in question appear to have a more menacing look than the roots you saw in the waterfall space, or that you're just normally familiar with. They have a very barbed and sharp, kind of hostile, kind of menacing nature to them, but they're easy enough to maneuver through. You then come through a point where there's brass piping, and the brass piping seems to have a red staining to it. Very strange, very kind of awkward. But very quickly after that, the pipe opens up to a 100-foot drop with very narrow passages along the side as you enter into the middle portion of what appears to be a very large cistern. However, the cistern typically is filled with water. This one seems to have very little water at its basin, 100 feet down. Directly above you, you can see the sky very clearly, almost as if this used to be some sort of quarry that has been turned into a cistern via the piping. And you're not sure exactly where you're at, but it does look like there's means of kind of exiting out onto the surface.
Huzzah!
Huzzah, we did it.
Let's not celebrate until we figure out where we're at.
I'm not going around that little fucking passageway on the side of the thing. That's the only way to get around here. We go back the way we came.
Smart. Good plan. I like that. Good choice.
100-foot drop. How wide of a passage are we talking?
It's narrow, but it's like 3 feet.
Oh, that's pretty wide.
It's not like scary narrow. It's
Okay.
But
So you said it.
Go ahead.
You said it's like a 3-foot wide passageway that goes up about 100 feet.
It kind of moves along the outsides. I don't know if you're familiar with what a quarry looks like. It's kind of just broken down stone with kind of levels. The level that
Oh, I
you
got
come
you.
out onto is about 3 feet wide, and you can kind of climb your way up if you want to go that route, or along the outside. You could go around to a point on the other side where you might be able to get up easier.
Yeah, it doesn't sound so bad.
Not at all.
If we get like a moment to breathe and stuff, can Orlandus like make a map of what he's seen thus far to give it to the agitators?
How would you give it to the agitators?
Like, I'm sorry, I just want to make a map.
When we get back.
Yeah,
Oh, you're
so
just
when we
making a
get
map.
back.
Okay. Do you have
Yeah.
cartographer's tools?
I do.
Remember, we had the whole thing about him thinking they weren't useful.
Okay, so absolutely, you would definitely be able to kind of loosely determine the directioning and also kind of map it out easily enough. Do you actually very good call on the strip mine picture? That's kind of what it looks like on the inside. What it looks like on the surface, you're not sure yet.
I'm trying to figure out what I can cast with one colorless mana. Hold on.
Soul Ring.
Yeah. No, I
Obviously,
think
you want-
actually this is probably
you should
this is probably
s-
more Castia's vibe.
back and destroy the land. Actually, anywho, to the point. If you are desiring to move up, do you wish to do so all together, make your way up, or have some people who are not quite stealthy stay in the pipe as some of you scout ahead?
That's probably a better option because we have no idea what's up there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to accurately direct my choices without knowing where I'm at. But Glint can spider climb. So
Are we
I'm
able
willing
to?
to proceed stealthily to see if we can find like a more comfortable area for everybody to gather.
Hell yeah, take Orlandus with you. Just
Okay.
you can't spider climb.
So as you
And Jonah, you are not in video anymore.
Yeah, I got disconnected, but I'm on my phone.
it hasn't moved you off of it, so I guess that's.
I mean, it's a solid still image at least. You know?
Yeah.
I actually
Nice.
thought you were still moving around.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like
you
you're about to
can
drop a
spot.
sick beat.
Yeah.
Or yes.
If you come up and oh damn it! Right when let's say beat section. He dropped. Why'd you say drop? Also, why is my camera
sorry.
even knocked over? I'm trying to end this in a really cool point. Stop, you guys. And I can't do it with us all looking weird because you won't be able to see reactions. Bear with me
Uh-oh.
here. Are you
Wait.
rejoining, Jonah?
One more time, sorry.
Are you rejoining Zoom or no?
I don't know. Okay, hold on, let me
I
check.
got it.
There's only a few minutes left, Joda. I think it's probably
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
That's just enough time for John to tell us that a year has passed.
A year has passed. No, I would never say that. No, I don't want video from that. Thank you.
Oh,
Stop
look at
looking
the
at my
ceiling.
ceiling. Joe. Perfect. Okay, so who's going up?
Glint.
I'll go up.
Okay.
Jonah, no.
Am I back or no?
Yeah, you're back, man.
You just ruined everything twice.
I'm sorry. Sorry, you guys. I'm the fuck up.
Okay.
You're fine. You're fine.
Okay. So,
We're gonna do it.
I'm gonna say the
Screw it
things.
this time.
Clint, no stealth check needed. You pull yourself up out of the quarry, okay? And you do so in what seems to be the easiest means to do so, right? You're not gonna just try and go to like the weird kind of craggy side. You're gonna move to the path that's easiest for the group to move up. Is that accurate? Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
You want to make sure that at the top, the easiest path when they get there is going to be safe. So when you kind of move up this side wall, you come up onto a ridge and are looking out. And the very first thing that you see in this position is a reverse of what you know to be the Sepulture's Barrow, the castle of the Lycoi.
It's on the opposite side of the quarry.
Yeah. It's a distance between. There's a distance between you and it, which I'm going to describe here in a second. But you see the back end of the building. You know to be the manor of Leclerc because you saw it when you were in the town or in this the End Barrow. So you and Astrogoth, upon seeing it, will know that this is just the reverse of it, very clearly. Very similar architecture, but just from the butt. In between you and it, you can see breaks and such in the stone. You can see kind of a smattering of stone, but the thing that catches your eye the most, and probably might take your breath away, is the following. And that's where we'll end the session for tonight. Thanks for watching those that did, and we will see you next week.
Nice.